rumble in the jungle.
See, go ahead, look.
Yes,
You look at me.
I am.
Yeah.
There you are. Yonder. Here comes Lindsay. There she is.
Hey, you guys were
There she
waiting for me.
is.
Aw, how sweet.
We're waiting for you. Of course, we're on the wrong side.
You're on the wrong side. Can you get your shit together?
I know. I'm trying.
I was waiting for you to get your shit together, and clearly,
Hello. Oh, I know.
you did not wait long enough.
Why don't you just start the night out sitting here, and then you'll be on the right side?
Right?
Nah.
Because who's going to run the show? Why are they so much brighter than us?
I don't know. We're dark tonight.
Wow, nobody
aren't
can
we?
hear me. Hi.
We're
Pasty.
dark. Super dark. It's weird. I don't think we're usually that dark, bro.
That's because Jack is very bright.
He is bright.
I suck
Jack
all
just
the light out of
brightens up the whole. He just
Black
brightens up the whole show.
Suck all the light out of the room. Hello, everybody.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Table Chronicles.
You didn't open that can, did you?
Why?
What can?
I opened
No,
this
we
can. I didn't open
Oh,
the
okay.
can.
No, we didn't open the
mystery can.
The mystery
Pandora's can.
Welcome, Jack.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, Dad.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Happy
I met somebody today whose else's birthday it was.
Wow.
No way.
And I was like, oh, my father-in-law's
That's two.
birthday's today.
That's interesting. Well, my nephew also has a birthday.
Yeah.
today.
Well, I know, but he's in the family, so that's already, we already know about him.
I've got one in
Oh.
January.
Do you?
I do.
Like your birthday?
Same thing. Sorry.
Oh, where everybody's
I'm just
birthday's
being. I'm
the
just being
same?
a dick. You and me both? No.
I was actually believing you there for a
No, I
minute.
know. I'm an ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
man.
haven't had dinner. So.
Quick shout out. You have cookies. though.
Aw.
I know this. Just
I did feed him 4 cookies, by
That
the way.
works.
So he's
Only
all
had two so
sugared
far.
up.
Quick shout out to our sponsor, Americano Ammunition Coffee. Best coffee in Arizona. Featuring their
swag.
Lindsay's favorite right now. They got some good swag.
Mm.
Green tip.
That green tip breve, it's so good.
Is that how you say it? Brevet? Brevet?
I don't know.
Brevet?
Maybe.
Is it brevet? Or
Breve,
brevet?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
The T is silent.
Bullets and brew.
There is no T.
There's no T in breve. That from the author, y'all.
Wow.
Yep.
That's what editors are for.
That's what you call sarcasm.
Well, the way she pronounced it, it sounded like there was a T.
Oh,
Breve.
no. It's brevet or brevet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
There
know.
would
Am
be.
I supposed to be?
No.
Okay, good. Because I don't have my life
Now
together.
we're getting no PowerPoint
Aw.
tonight.
Clearly.
You got a name tag on those, so that's kind of cute.
I do have a name
She still has her
tag.
name tag on.
That's adorable.
Nothing like coming home and jumping on the show. That works.
Oh,
Welcome.
we at a convention?
Just our chamber meeting.
Ah. What chamber is this?
Chandler Chamber.
Of Commerce?
Yeah.
No way. You're a member or you're just a friend?
No, I'm a member.
Awesome.
It's pretty fun, actually. You should come and be my
Oh, I
my
should.
visitor.
I should come.
I'll be
That
like,
would-
this is Jack. I'll be like,
I have ideas. I have things I want to say. What are we talking about?
There's a state 48 garage doors there, and I'm like, oh, you guys suck.
You
I've never
know,
even heard of them.
You don't
I,
even know.
I know what they are, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the garage door company, pretty smart.
Well, duh.
I don't know why this reminded me of when I got called by some magazine, some golf magazine, and they were telling me about how a bunch of their readers suggested my company to be in their
Right.
annual thing. I'm like, first off, that's a bold-faced lie. There's no way in hell.
You're like, no, they didn't.
I don't have that many customers, and anyone that I do aren't playing golf and sure as hell aren't suggesting me to your publication. Because if
Yeah.
they're my customers, they know that I only deal with the people that I know.
That I know.
Right.
Like,
I don't
I'm not.
advertise
Yeah.
on purpose.
Crazy. And because we didn't give a shout out to these guys last week, I'm going to do it today. So
And I did not win
practechprep.com.
the money, so I don't get to come see.
You don't get to go see them.
What?
For all your guns and ammo needs and survival needs, go check them out. And also, speaking of
That
State
sucks.
48, our good friend Eddie Press, State 48 plates. Go
That's
check
all
them
I
out.
think of when they say
I
we're
know,
State
right?
48 garage doors. And I was like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. You stole it.
Stop stealing it.
Yeah.
All right, on the news of the week, we got a busy show tonight. So, got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff to get to.
Well, you put up my meme. Not that meme.
Not that one. I thought this was funny. Screwdrivers drills now permitted on Boeing flights to allow passengers to help with maintenance.
That's not nice at all. It's funny.
It's pretty funny.
It's not
That's
true, though.
not funny.
There's no way they're letting them take screwdrivers and
No.
bullets.
No.
No.
This was my meme.
Close small
2020,
business.
close small businesses. 2021,
Yeah.
force them to lay off all their employees. 2022, reopen the business and rehire employees. 2023, call it record job growth.
It's not untrue. It's just a lie.
Can you not hear it in the penguin's voice, though?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, totally.
No.
All I think about when I see the penguin is just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
Smile and wave.
No, that's what they're doing. Who's in charge? Smile and wave.
Uh,
Did you see him at Intel?
The penguin?
No. might as well be the penguin.
Who was it? Intel.
Joe
Although he could have
Biden.
done better.
It doesn't matter.
Biden was here at Intel. And he walks and literally smile and wave.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Smile and wave.
Is the cotton candy ready?
Is it ice cream? I like ice cream.
They usually give out popcorn in those places, don't they?
I didn't know.
I don't know. Who knows? I like
What?
this one. Working people for Democrats. Dear fronters.
What are you trying to say?
Right?
Maybe
Wow,
misled, a little
that's
bit misled,
funny.
misguided,
Misguided. Yeah.
misunderstanding.
Makes much more sense than your sign.
Economy's going great. We created 5 million jobs this year.
I have 3 of them.
I still can't pay my rent.
That's true. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I have you?
Yeah.
In her Walmart vest with her Uber Eats hat on.
Wow.
When you try to be one of the guys, you never had a real job in your life. So you put your heart
Yeah,
out
that was
backwards.
classic, though.
Wow.
This is-
Really?
This is one of those signs, though. Like, as much as Trump didn't have any back, he's kind of losing his too. Like, you don't have one aide or person to go, "Hey, dipshit, turn the hat around before you take a
Before
picture.
they took the picture.
Put the freaking helmet on right." Like, nobody has your back. Look,
I mean,
that's
I
the
get
president.
live TV. Like, sure, that maybe happened, but nobody was like, "Psst,
If somebody put it on him, but I mean,
that's on wrong.
he's the president. Do we have to go out of our way to make him look like an ass? I just don't
Uh,
understand.
yeah, exactly. Do we really have to give you opportunities
Maybe,
to?
maybe that's Photoshop.
You're making your own. It
It's
really
very possible.
wasn't.
It's very possible.
Yeah, could be Photoshop.
With the glare from the window and the shiny black piece
Hey,
on his
people are good
hat.
at it.
People are good at
doubt that.
Photoshop.
I wouldn't
man.
be shocked if it was Photoshop.
Photoshop. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So you gotta love this. Dylan Mulvaney just dropped a music video called Days of Girls Hit, teaching the basics of being a girl.
It doesn't teach shit. It really doesn't. Have you seen it?
I did, unfortunately.
No.
It's a pop song.
Do you have it?
It's a garbage
The
pop
song
song.
isn't bad.
It's a pop song.
The song isn't bad.
If I didn't know he had a dick, wouldn't
Yeah,
care.
he's an idiot, but
Yeah.
the song isn't bad.
But if you didn't, he's had some plastic surgery too. Like his face, he looks more and more like a girl. He
Well, every
legitimately
time,
looks like
I'm
a girl.
sure. Look at the money they're putting into it.
I don't think he has boobs though. I can't figure that out.
No.
I can't figure out if he's just wearing
Well,
he's wearing some kind of thing to make
because
his
8-year-old girls don't have boobs, and that's what he wants to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But he's trying to make himself have cleavage. He wears
Yeah,
he's doing
yeah.
something. Seriously,
It looks
he's wearing little
terrible.
sundresses. He's got cleavage. But I'm like, he doesn't have tits, does he?
No, that's makeup, though. You can also like shadow it to
Yeah,
make it
but
look
it's-
like there's.
He's got
Yeah.
his
You guys are just
chest
gonna rile me
piece
up, and I'm gonna have to
He,
fucking watch
he
it on
looks
TV.
terrible. I mean, he's not one that's going to get taken to the prom. I can tell you that right now.
I'd hit it.
He's just
You're welcome, Dad. I'm sorry. If he was a girl, I would. He's a cute girl. Too bad he's got a dick.
what are you
When you
what
were
are you
8,
drinking?
when you were
Listen,
8, he
listen.
might have been a cute girl.
No, listen. If he was actually a girl, he's not a bad looking girl. He's just not a girl.
Yeah.
His face is not that pretty.
No,
He's
no.
had plastic surgery done. He's cute.
His
As a
face
chick,
is still not cute.
What lens?
He is
What,
too.
what glasses do you have? You have reading glasses?
I have a
on, or
terrible
you-
prescription. It doesn't matter. The point
He's
is,
like, I still can't see.
I'm not saying he's fooling anybody, but if you
Oh,
didn't
no.
know
Is
he was
he-
a guy,
Is he an average 4?
close his
on
mouth
a
just a
10?
little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
not. He's better looking than a lot of chicks.
Oh no, that's true.
That's
Like,
probably-
there,
If you didn't know he was a
there are a
guy,
lot of chicks that are like if all that's what you saw is
yes.
just that,
If he actually had a set of tits on him and you didn't know it was a guy,
and he had some tits,
he's
he'd
a
be okay.
relatively good
We're,
looking
we're
girl.
looking at two different people.
If you didn't know, you wouldn't have any
If
idea.
you just saw that picture,
I think he's ugly.
Oh,
Well, he's not a- he's not a
that's,
10.
That's disingenuous.
Huh?
That's
he's not a
disingenuous.
10.
He's not ugly.
He's ugly.
He's
It's
not.
called a sheener.
Maybe, maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's because I know.
It's
who he
because
is.
it's because
Well,
you know.
looking at, I
Is
can't
that your
block that
house,
out.
Taylor?
And I get
It's
that.
called a
I get it.
sheener?
I
You
can't block
there's not
that
enough cognitive
Because there's
dissonance to
little
let you go that
Right.
guy. Yeah, I get it. I get that. I totally get that. But the reality is,
But if you were playing on a gig
if I didn't know this dude,
and this chick
yeah,
comes up to you and whatever's drunk and winking and all that stuff, sure, you'd probably wink back. Not terribly looking, not the worst you've ever seen.
no, not by far.
Until the dress comes up and you're
yeah,
like,
and that's the thing. That's
That's
why
an Audi, not an
That
Indy.
is the thing.
that's the thing. There it is. And that's the problem. And the problem for me in that whole scenario is the point where
Oh my God, what is
you
the
allow
pat?
it to go that far.
What is the
Right.
pat down? That video of the pat down
Oh,
at
yeah.
the thing,
The
and they're like,
TSA.
"What is that?" And he was like, "That's my penis." Yep, that's your penis.
Yes, it is indeed. It's if you're gonna try to lie about it and you're trying to convince people to do stuff they don't want to do,
No.
that's when you're gonna
That's when
catch
you
an
got a
ass
problem.
whipping.
That's exactly.
And I don't feel the least bit bad for you.
But if you're gonna go to a drag place.
Everybody knows who that dude is. He's not fooling anybody
No.
because
Right,
he's
right.
made it a public thing. So I don't really care. It doesn't bother me.
Whatever, bro.
Who cares?
Go take your penis.
It's
every day.
unfortunate that you're influencing a lot of other people to do the same.
Right.
And I don't
Right.
think he's as dedicated to actually being a transgender person as he
Oh,
is to
of
being a
course not.
celebrity. He's
He's
interested in being a
just
celebrity.
being-
Yeah, but
whatever money
so the
is thrown
problem
at.
is the younger generations look up to
Well, yeah. Well, that the whole
it.
the whole societal psychosis that is happening because of him and other people like him,
Right.
where we're convincing people who don't really have any problems that they want to be in opposite sex is insane.
Yeah.
And it is what's the word for it? Where it's a social
Mass
contagion
insanity.
or whatever it is, where people are being crazy
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Well,
of influence.
And again,
They're so easily to be influenced too, but this is going on. People in Hollywood and musicians and singers have been dictating morals and behavior
Forever.
for years. It's just that now it's become
but this
an
isn't
epidemic.
even
Yeah,
this isn't
exactly.
even somebody in Hollywood. This isn't even somebody to that point because we've made so many people famous that are nobodies.
Mhm.
You have no talent. You're not doing anything. You're not an
Right.
actor. You're not a singer. You're nothing. You're on a phone.
Well, he did Broadway shows, from what I read.
Well, we've changed the metric
When
of
he was
what
younger.
makes you a celebrity.
that's right.
Right.
We did.
I bet he did.
You used to have to accomplish something or be popular for something besides just putting yourself out there and being a weirdo.
Yeah, you
So
don't
that
have-
means he's even better at pretending than we thought.
yeah, you don't have to be good at what you do to be.
No,
Famous
to be
today.
famous anymore.
That's been since the reality TV age, you know,
Right,
when we
right.
did that kind of stuff. And
and
We
I think
killed
that's
that
the
in the
start. I
early
think that's the
90s.
start of it.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that's the
That
start of
com-
it.
That live
Well-
reality
Yep.
TV.
and then you kick the internet or rather the social media in
Mhm.
behind all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's like every loser has a voice.
Mhm.
Everybody's
we don't-
important.
It's wild that people allow themselves to be sucked into it because it's really, I think, it's pretty easy to see.
Well, and I also think on the other hand that how you can get sucked into it,
Yeah.
especially being
Pull your mic up and closer.
I was on that edge. So like you guys got a good 10 years before like cell phones were really out and like internet was on them and everything like that. I didn't. Like I was
It's always
in
there
my
for you.
So I was on that verge. Like I got that independence that my parents taught me, like thinking on your own, feeling what you feel, not worrying about other people.
How old were you when you got your first cell phone that had internet?
20.
Okay. They
'Cause-
existed before that, though, right?
Huh?
That's when they first came out, or that's when you got one?
So we know. So the Nokia like cell phones that you actually had in your hands were in high school for me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say late '90s. It was still just a regular.
Yeah, you just had, like, the
I had an
Nokia
analog
phone.
cell
Yeah.
phone in high school.
Yeah, I had the Nokia phone, but there would like you could text on it and that was about it. Like there was no internet, there was nothing like
Really,
that.
the phone technology over the last 12 years has just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's
My
I'd say
first phone
that's
was,
about the
was
time.
no texting. It was an analog cell phone, and it had a pager built in.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
They were the first ones, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had pagers like crazy in high school and like you were fancy if you had a cell phone.
And
That was me.
before the pages,
But
there
you were
was-
fancy.
before,
Jack was
the-
fancy.
before that phone, it was just beepers.
Yeah.
You had a beeper,
Beepers.
they had to run and find a phone somewhere.
Even
Yeah,
if you think
but
about it, the
we
hits,
we got that independence. We didn't get sucked into it like
Yeah.
they are now. You literally have these like 6-year-olds that are on social media that are going off of seeing everybody else's fake lives,
Mhm.
thinking they're either supposed to be that or, oh, look, this thing's on TV. I'm supposed to be like that.
Mhm.
I think we got lucky.
They give them to their kids earlier because who wants to watch their kids?
Who wants to deal with the kid?
It's a
Who wants to
pain in the
teach him how to like have patience and deal with other humans?
that's
Give them a
part of it.
tablet.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Yeah.
You have a baby. You have infants and strollers with a tablet in front of them.
I couldn't say I wouldn't do it.
So
Well, and a lot of parents
play
do.
with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would just look around at families that are out somewhere. They're all, they're all buried deep in their phones. That's all.
they're
they
sitting
do.
at a park or a festival. Everybody's on their phone or
You
tablet.
can watch them eating dinner. They're eating dinner as a
but
family.
it's got nothing to do with the ages anymore. I mean, I grew up with radio before anything else, and party line telephones, and here I am every day on this thing.
Well, I
So
know
it has
that-
nothing to do with age anymore. It just has to do with addiction and being used to something.
absolutely. And I think you can get sucked in more,
Oh,
not
absolutely.
knowing that this isn't real life.
And I think it's more than addiction.
you
I
have
think
that.
it's,
We all have that separation.
Mhm.
These kids nowadays don't.
I think
No.
they forced it as a dependency, right? Because everything we do is
It's based on
at the
that.
touch
Yeah.
of the phone.
Yeah.
They made us depend on it. forever.
It's inevitable. And,
Right.
and just once it existed at a certain point, you can't dial it back.
Right.
If it existed in your life as a child And that's the way anybody now, any kid nowadays, they don't know anything else.
No,
And who has the time, the ability, or even the understanding to try to raise your kids without it?
Right.
Because
Unless you're going to be Amish or something.
well, that's the thing. You're going to have to homeschool your kids. You're going to have to
Yep.
spend a lot of time around them and monitor everything they do because they're going to run into it.
and you
It's out
can't
there.
be
You
on
can't
it either.
You can't send them to school, and you can't use it either.
You can't use it either.
So
You're
the
going to
level
have
of
to make that
isolation.
full life.
I'm sure there's
decision.
people out there that don't,
Oh, yeah.
that aren't technologically involved
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're just like, screw it, we're not doing
Yeah, I
it.
don't care.
Probably
Not-
most of the
not
people who
too many.
created the social media platforms, I think, are the ones that
Right.
don't do it.
not too many though, Jack. I
No,
wish
no,
I
I'm
wish there was a lot because then we'd be able to turn this around a little bit.
You're
But
not
we-
going to, though.
it's not going to turn
It
around.
doesn't matter how many of them there are, we're not going to know about it because they
Right.
don't talk
That's
to us.
true.
They don't talk to us. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Screw those idiots.
Yep.
That's true.
So going back to kind of what we were talking about Dylan Mulvaney earlier. So
Distraction, squirrel, rabbit hole.
talking about where all this really came to light. I mean, when we were growing up, we knew we heard of drag queens. We knew people were gay. We knew people, they wanted to be women. Men wanted to be women.
Chicks
wanted
that
to be
dressed up
men.
as dudes
Yeah,
in
I
high
mean,
school, whatever.
it
it's
happened,
cool.
but it happened typically behind closed doors. It wasn't shoved in your face,
Well,
right?
And
I mean,
you,
there were places for that.
you knew about him, but you didn't care.
It wasn't.
You were like, oh, my
Right.
Aunt Sissy has a wife. Whatever. Nobody, and that was the end of it. Like,
The people that I knew of that were, I don't know, I guess overt or flamboyant, like it never dawned on me that they had a sexual preference of any kind. 'Cause
they
I
were
didn't-
just special.
When I was a kid, I didn't think of people in that
No.
regard.
you were Jimmy or Johnny or Paul or whatever. Yeah.
I can't remember what I was. I don't know how old I was when I first realized that there was, you could get pictures of naked chicks. Like now, kids are exposed to that so early.
Right.
It's terrifying. I
So
never,
young.
I would have never finished high school
No.
if I had a cell phone that could. I don't know.
Watch porn. You would just
you
say,
kidding me? I would have
"Ah."
left my room. It's ridiculous.
They'd be like, where's Jack? Oh, he's 12. He's been in his room
Yeah.
8 days. It's fine.
The internet exists.
Yeah.
But it's gotten serious, I think.
It's gotten
It's-
beyond serious. It's gotten tragic.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point where, I don't even know what to do about it. There's not much that we can do because so many people, it's weaponized on both sides.
Mhm.
If you're not willing to check out of society, you're going to get sucked into it one way or the other.
Yep.
But the problem is, and I don't know if I could just speak for the left, but they're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. They're on board with this shit and they're pushing the agenda. And one of the things I want to talk about tonight was Riley Gaines. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's a professional swimmer. You heard that whole story, right?
Oh yeah.
So
It's such an easy problem to solve.
it is.
Nobody will.
It is. She's a professional swimmer.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, just
amazing.
pro athlete. Her whole
Olympic
family's
status.
Yep,
Amazing.
So her big argument was they had this transgender man wanted to be a woman.
They had a man.
I don't know what his real name was, but the name now is Leah Thomas. And
Oh, I don't remember.
they competed in the finals together.
And,
And
they
They tied.
She tied him.
Right.
She, all of what, 5'2",
Yeah, there's
tied
something
this
like that,
6-foot
And
male.
let's take into account for a second the degree, the metric they use to time those races.
Down to like
How
the
in the
10th of a 10th of a
fucking
10th
hell?
of a second.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Honestly, it
yeah.
feels like a fix because it's like, how?
First of all,
that measurement of time is so minuscule for them to hit at the exact same time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
like-
Aside
it's
from the
like
fact that it makes him a
milli-
slow ass.
It's like the millisecond.
Yeah,
It's not even,
ridiculous.
it's not a second. It's not a half of a
It's a
second. It's like a
hundredth.
third. Yeah. A hundredth of a
Hundredth
second.
of a second.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
insane
even,
that
you
they tied.
blink slower than that. Like it's insane that it's amazing.
Race cars don't tie.
No.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's
Exactly.
amazing that she got there
It's
at the
inconceivable.
same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bullshit on its face. As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Like first of all,
There's no way
dude,
they
like
tied. I believe she won and they cheated.
Well, here's I got a little video clip of her story. She was on Joe Rogan recently, did an interview with him, and it was a great interview. If you get a chance to go watch it, it's really good.
Cheated.
But here's her talking about that. So I'll play it real quick.
The NCAA official looks at both Thomas and myself. Thomas, who is towering over me, right, 6'4", and this official looks at both of us and says, "Great job, you two. But you tied, and we only have one trophy, so we're gonna give the trophy to Leah. Sorry, Riley, you don't get one." My
Jesus Christ.
heart rate was still high, having just competed. My adrenaline was still pumping. And so the first thing that I thought ended up being the first thing that I said. And the first thought that I had was just what you had just said, right? Like, isn't this everything that Title IX was passed to prevent from happening. What do you mean you're going to give the trophy to the man in the women's 200 freestyle?
Yeah, I should have been like, whip it out. Whoever's got the bigger cock.
Whoever's got the smaller cock wins. What? I'm surprised she was so nice about it.
Well, first of all, the question is, why is this happening? Why
I'd have
why
lost
is he even allowed to compete?
Why are you even allowed as a 20-something male to be in the locker room with all these other females?
And they talk about that. They go into that. on
Yeah,
the
it's mind
interview.
virus stuff. It's just this idea.
What are we
that-
doing?
This idea that we entertain your mental illness
And
and allow it to
And-
go that far.
she talks about the fact that when all the girls were uncomfortable, it wasn't a conversation of having him removed. They were told they need to be more sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Are you
They-
fucking kidding
They
me?
had to go do training.
They had to go through training to learn how to be sensitive to a man with a penis who's in my locker room with women.
And you're talking about a 20, what was she, 22 years old?
College.
at the
They're
time that
juniors
this
in
happened?
college. They're
I mean,
20 years old. Are you kidding me,
You
Reno?
guys stop staring at my erection.
Well, the
I
whole,
don't. What are you guys looking at?
getting naked? What's going on?
the whole
Come on,
thing is
ladies.
you're shifting the responsibility goes to the committee or the organization that runs this thing,
Yeah.
not the players, not even him. It's them who allowed this to happen in the first place.
But it's also the players who didn't stand up and go, "This is fucking ridiculous."
I'm sure they did.
They shouldn't have to.
Only to a certain point,
Well,
though.
but the point
Even
is,
like
they
she
shouldn't have got
says,
to that point.
Should have never gotten to
exactly,
that point.
Exactly.
But
And this is
again-
what they got to fix.
Look at what we did with COVID and vaccines.
Yeah, but what-
we sat here and pushed it on everybody, and everybody said, "Okay, sure."
I know, but what we do here is we keep looking at the wrong people to
We're not holding anybody
uh,
accountable.
No, not we, but I'm saying generally speaking, we're looking at the wrong people to fix this. It's the people in charge, the people with the
The
power.
people in charge aren't going to fix it because
That-
they're the ones.
That's
They're the
problem.
puppets.
But that's the problem.
But until everybody at the bottom starts standing up, who are they going to control?
From the first person that said, "Hey, I've got a cock and I want to play in girls' sports." Is that cool?
Sure.
So she said no, and they
Right.
didn't, and that's it. This is to me. It's
That's
but
my
I
point,
feel
Jack.
like a woman.
exactly. But it's the push. It's the push of like why the NRA is always like, no, fuck you, go fuck yourself,
Right.
because they
Right.
know that if you give them an inch, they take a mile. That's
Absolutely.
what you have to do. Smokers screwed up a long time ago, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to go into another room." They're like,
Right.
"Oh, okay, no problem." Then like, we're gonna have you on the porch. Okay, cool.
Outside.
You got to
Now
be
you gotta be
150
more-
yards.
yeah.
Now you
Right.
can't smoke in your car with anybody next to you,
Right.
and it's because they gave that inch that it continues to push
Yep.
down. As a bar
Yep.
owner, you just say, "You know what? Kiss my ass. If my
Right.
people
You
want
don't
to
like
smoke in
it?
here, they're going to
Move.
smoke in here. I own the building. I own the business. I'm going to cater to who I want to. If
Yeah.
you don't like a smoky place, go somewhere else."
Exactly.
But they didn't do that. They
You
said,
go to a
can't let people
casino,
smoke in
you know
here."
they're going to smoke.
Most of them, but not all of them. There's some
Oh,
that
I
even
know.
gotten that
Trust
far.
us.
It's like,
We
nope,
went to one
can't
and
smoke in
Keith
here.
almost lost
Yeah.
his shit.
because it's weird. It's just weird.
To be in a casino and there's no smoke, you're
We're in
like,
a free place. I'm doing an activity that is not illegal.
Right.
Why can you tell me I can't do
You
it?
can't do
Yep.
it.
It's
Exactly.
insane. But it's
Yep.
the same idea. If you give them inch, they take them out. And then this,
Yep.
all this stuff, the first one that said, like, I feel like a girl, is like, that's cool. You can feel like whatever you want to feel like. We're not changing anything for you.
go for it, bro, but you still have a penis. Sorry.
Yeah, you're a man. That's why, like, they're like, well, gender's different than sex. Okay, cool. So then it's male and female. This is female sports and that's male sports. Are you a male or a female?
Yeah.
I'm a
pick one.
transgender. I don't give a shit about that. Are
There
you
isn't
male
a
or female?
transgender swimming team.
Nope.
Sorry.
There's not.
One or the other.
Oh, I
You're
guess
male
it-
or female. And then this, I solved the intersex thing too. Guess what? If you're intersex, you can compete in either one.
What's an intersex?
We'll
The
talk-
argument to save the world.
Yeah.
When you try to tell them that men and women are different, like, we're talking about intersex people there, yeah, and you go, like, oh yeah, you're stupid as hell.
I haven't even heard of this one.
Oh,
I'm kind of excited.
It's good information.
Let's do it.
It's just ask.
Well, I'll play the other one that
Oh.
Riley did too. She was talking about her reaction basically to this. So
Top 8 women in the entire country. And you've got a 6'4" man in a women's swimsuit with a bulge next to a woman wearing only a Speedo with nothing covering her top. Your reaction was my reaction because I'm sitting there watching this. I'm thinking to myself, it's me. I'm the crazy one. It must be. This is the freaking Twilight Zone.
right.
Why's that dude got a camel toe?
Whoa.
Well, and if you listen to
why
that
is
story,
that? Why is that chick got a camel toe? And why is that dude he's got really big breasts?
well, if you listen to the story, it was two. So it was
Transgender woman.
Leah
transgender
Thomas.
man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know the story.
Yeah. It was crazy.
The first transgender person that I ever met I didn't know was transgender. It wasn't actually. It was a pre-op. So it was a guy. I thought it was a guy. First time he was in the bar and he's dancing around at karaoke night when I'm hosting karaoke, and he's got you can see the thong sticking out of the back of his pants because he took his shirt off at some point.
Yeah, woo.
Right.
Right.
Like, wow, weird wearing panties.
Whatever, bro. Whatever's floats your boat.
You see weird stuff.
A year or so
Fine.
down the road, we were friends. We hung out, no big deal. And one night we're on the back porch. I'm having a cigarette. The other guy comes out. He's talking to him. He says, "I'm so excited. I'm going to have my surgery next month." Surgery for what? He goes,
You're like, oh, are you okay? Like everything good? Yeah.
"To get my penis." And I went, "What in the hell are you talking about?" So unzips his pants, her pants. I'm like, well, there you go. I said,
Mazel tov.
I've never been more freaked out in my life. I'm like, you're just going to throw that thing away?
You're like, I could have some uses for it.
Just
I'm not
saying.
just going to throw it away.
As opposed to that,
That's
You're like, have you seen a penis?
It really-
They're really not.
it's weird
Yeah,
because this is a person that I cared about. That they were a friend of mine for a couple of years, and I had no idea. I thought he was kind of
But-
gay.
right.
But again, that's fine because he's not pushing anything on you.
Correct.
You want to be whatever, bro. I meet you. Your name is Paulette.
Some of the girls he
Awesome.
was banging had
Great.
issue with it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
He pulled a lot of tail, and I was like, "How do you do it?" Oh, I use a strap on. I was like, "What the?" Yeah. Yeah, that look on your face is it's super confusing. I'm like, you couldn't tell the difference. Like, the Velcro didn't tip you off or anything like this.
Right.
You can keep the lights off to a certain degree, but at some point, you think they'd know.
There's a little bit of squishy difference. I'm just saying.
Well, and it begs a question. Some
Is it
people are
still
better than
okay
others.
to call it a breaststroke? I don't know. When they're flailing around, don't you think that's going to stop your time?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't that slow you down? That's
If
a
you
little bit
actually
of
had
water.
boobs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be another reason the men
But
are
the
faster.
dude that's a chick that's wanting to be a dude and competing in the dude sports, like that's going to slow you down on like water sheen.
Except you have those taken off.
But he didn't.
He didn't. And in that case, he did.
Wait, the
She did.
transgender
She
guy was a topless with breasts.
Talk.
No, the transgender woman, the woman who wanted to be the man.
The woman who wanted to be the man was still a woman.
She still had breasts.
titties hanging
still
out.
there with no- that's what she said.
That's what she says.
She was topless, but she didn't have breasts.
She
Oh,
didn't
okay.
say.
No,
She had a mastectomy. I
Okay.
promise you
Oh,
that.
okay.
Because we still are that prude.
I guess.
You know,
So
The
Because
only
I
way you
was
see
like-
tits on TV is if they're on a fat man. That's okay. You can see his big old double D swinging around. Nobody has a problem with that.
Because
during
those
dinner
aren't
time.
terrifying. That's terrifying.
No, if they're nice looking breasts, that's just wrong. We can't
Don't
deal
do
with
it. Don't do
that.
it
Those
to
look like
everybody.
boobs and people are interested. Fat guy, not a problem.
Fat dude hanging. Put him in a thong. Nobody cares.
The biggest loser, my 1,000-pound life. Would we have to see these? Can we put a shirt on?
Oh yeah.
please.
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat.
All the time. All the time.
I'm trying to eat my cookies
Trying to-
while this
trying to eat my
guy's trying to
pizza.
lose 100 pounds.
Legit. It's just like, ugh.
You're really fucking up my priorities right now.
It's weird.
All right, so here's Joe Rogan's response, and I kind of like this response, and I want to get your guys' take on this after you hear it. So here it is.
Who's doing this? How is it possible that anyone with children, anyone who's a father who has daughters, is okay with this? How is that possible? This is nonsense at the highest level. And even though it's not like close. It's not like, well, I kind of see their point.
No.
It's not even remotely close. And yet it has been taken up by a giant swath of the greatest country the world has ever known.
You just shut your brain off. It's easy to do. You see those congressional hearings where the people are like, is there a difference between a man and a woman? They're like, well, there's no asshole. It's a simple answer that you refuse to answer. Once you're in that place of, I can't answer that question.
We talked
Because
about this last week.
it
It's yes
disarms
or
me.
no.
Yeah, but it's
you
not.
keep segueing into my next clips. Did you get the show notes or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Did you send him the notes?
I didn't mean to shit.
I don't ever get the notes.
Next.
It's real easy though. Like your dude friend
Yeah.
had a vagina,
I don't know what made
Still
him
a
decide
chick.
that was a thing.
which again is fine. That's a personal choice.
Yeah,
That's
it's a-
all you, bro. That's all you.
Yeah,
But-
do your thing.
Why are you going to try to, if you're going to still be a woman, why are you going to convince me that you're a man?
I don't know. I don't know the psychopathy behind it, but I mean, clearly there's something there. It's an issue that needs to be dealt with somehow. I don't know how you do it, if it's medication or if you just beat them into submission.
We need to
or what the deal
actually
is.
tell them that no, it's wrong. Stop listening to what
Well,
everybody tells
and that's
you.
the thing. That's my point. My point is 20 years ago, did it happen? I'm sure it happened.
Yeah, and those guys were
But
just
it
they were
wasn't-
ostracized, and we didn't let them into the club and all that stuff.
Right.
Like that
But it
guy's queer.
wasn't also
But it
shoved
wasn't
down your throat.
shoved
You
in
just
your
showed up like
face.
a dude and you were accepted or you weren't.
And we weren't doing it to children. We weren't doing it to little
Children.
kids.
Yeah, the push for the acceptance of something that's clearly not the truth is so weird and disturbing, and it is mental illness. It's a mental illness, but a lot of times it seems to me to be a willing mental illness. People are like, oh, it's the new cool thing. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
it's trendy.
What does that say to the people that support it? If it's a mental illness.
They're
That they're
mentally
mental.
ill.
Thank you. That's
You
what
have issues.
Joe Rogan is saying. What most of America wants to say, but the minority right now in this country has their say on everything. They
But you
make the
have-
decisions, and we sit back and go, "That's wrong."
Well, and you have so many people that are on that edge. They don't want to upset you because
Well,
you're
what do you
going
do
to
if they're your family member?
absolutely.
Because
So
that's how you get people that have a brain that are buying into it because their kids doing it,
exactly.
and they're
So
like, "Well, I don't want my kid to kill himself."
one of my friends is in that same situation. Doesn't really know what to go on, but their kid is
That's a horrific,
into this
untenable
whole thing.
situation.
And what do you do with it? Like, you can't not be their parent and not love them. But what do you do at that point, especially when they are older and they're not just kids at home? Like,
Well, let's put it this way: let's roll it back 10 or 15, even 20 years. If your son told you he's gay, when did that start become like you accept him? I love him anyway.
you love
that
them
wasn't always
anyways,
the
but
case.
it's still
Right,
not
right.
okay.
It wasn't always the case.
No, it wasn't.
There was a time where you'd be like, "Get the hell out of my house,"
Yeah,
and that's
you're not doing
and
that here.
that was the social norm. But then it became
Absolutely.
you can't treat him differently just because he's gay. And now we're way past that. Where you want to chop it off, buddy. I'll take you to the appointment.
when you're
Right,
like
right,
6 years
right.
old,
Or just don't tell me. My teachers will do it for me, and we'll let you know if we decide
what
to.
we decide.
And that's a level of sickness that I don't understand how we got there.
How
except
are
that
we taking the
it's just
parents out?
rolling down that acceptance roll? The more you accept it,
It's
the worse it gets.
awful. It's awful.
Well, you brought up the idea of not being able to tell differences between men and women, right?
Yeah, that's a
And-
simple equation for me.
And this is a UPenn representative. Of course, we know their track record.
They're doing great.
Talking about the different biological differences between males and females, and they can't answer the question.
Oh, I was like the biological differences.
Right. Well,
Okay.
the question is, are there differences between men and women? That's the question.
Yeah.
Pretty simple
Like
question.
physically,
Right.
I look at you.
These people can't answer it. They have a diversion for everything. So listen to this. This ought to light you on fire.
It will.
Do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician and I can't speak to that.
What's your real world experience?
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that
So
are
you don't
taller than
believe
some
that-
women,
you
and
don't
some that are
believe
shorter.
that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
So a man that has trained, because we're both in sports, so I'm not just running up against fucking Joe Schmo on the street. So two humans who have trained for a sport. So we're training, we're lifting weights, we're running, we're swimming, we're doing whatever the sport entails. A man is not going to be better than a woman.
Yeah, and when the conversation starts,
Okay.
it's simple. It's just stop. And no. It's not going to listen to you anymore.
It's not a story. It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah, and the explanation requires no explanation. There's no deep dive necessary. It's like, hey, that's not a girl. It's just not. And
Girls' muscles and boys' muscles are different.
Take
when
your
you
clothes
get
off.
down to that,
Right.
That's what it comes down to, the physical strength.
the
Totally
physical
different.
strength of it. I can lift as many weights as I want.
Yeah.
Keith is always going to be able to lift more than I am.
and when a girl,
Period.
when that one girl comes along that can lift more weights, then she's the baddest girl in the
Then
land.
she's the
still,
badass.
She's still not
What
a
do you
man.
do?
She's still not a man and doesn't belong in men's
No,
sports.
but she's just going to whoop all your all's asses. You should just
Absolutely,
be
and
fine.
that's the thing. The ability to dominate in your own field is great. That's fine. And Leah Thomas sucked at a swimmer.
Clearly, if a
So,
5'2"
loophole.
woman beat her,
Right. Right.
Found a
Him.
loophole and said, "Hey, man, it's a lot easier to race these chicks.
I could be the
a lot
best.
easier. I'm the best." Yeah,
I'm totally. Well, he was what 428th or something
yeah
in the
some,
men.
some ridiculous.
You
bullshit.
weren't even half, bro. You sucked ass.
Anybody entertained that is just like, what is wrong with you people? I'm clearly
It's not
something's
like
wrong with
he
you.
was the top of the men.
I just can't understand what the purpose is. This is the thing. Like it falls into that whole
What
like
is-
dystopian, like
What are we trying to get?
whatever sort of weird shit's about to happen.
What are we accomplishing?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I honestly don't know. I felt better.
This is our distraction. What are we distracted from?
I don't know. Eating crickets,
Why are-
probably.
Ew.
Her crickets are good.
I don't know. Well,
Lot
and
of
the
protein.
chocolate covered.
Lot of
are
protein.
okay.
A lot of protein.
I
You
think-
eat anything covered in chocolate.
Well, of course.
So Rob says there are so many cases of young teenagers who have had hormone therapy to transition, wish they never did it.
Yeah.
And so they had no idea what they were doing and they were too young to make the choice.
Isn't it bizarre that that's
Well,
acceptable
Rob,
by
as
anybody?
you can attest to,
Right,
the
exactly.
human brain doesn't mature until it's what, 24, 25?
You can't get a tattoo.
Until you're 18.
Yeah.
But
Well,
again,
you
you're going
can't
to chop
vote
Where
off.
the fuck can you get hormones?
You can't vote till you're 18.
He said, by the way,
Exactly.
it's called testosterone. That's the difference. And that's,
Exactly. And that's why there are muscles.
well,
And I don't have any muscles.
What's testosterone?
I love Ted Cruz.
It's made in those things in your testicles that boys have and girls don't.
Well, you know the difference between like a hormone and an enzyme.
Yeah.
You can't hear an enzyme. Sorry.
Oh man.
You're
So,
Wow.
so Ted Cruz decides he's going to double down on this chick, and it's
Oh,
this
yes.
is this is priceless. I
Oh,
love Ted
God.
Cruz.
That sounds rapey.
A lot of people don't want
It really does.
A lot of people don't like
She
Ted
needs a
Cruz.
penis in her mouth. So
I'm
she
not a
gets
big fan of his,
I-
but I like this.
I love him for this.
Ms. Robinson, do you agree with Ms. Gaines that there's a difference between women and men?
If the question is about trans women,
I'm just asking, is there a difference between women and men?
I mean, what I can say here is that the NCAA has rules in place. They've had rules in place for the last decade, and when this competition
Okay, I'm
happened,
going to try again.
the rules were clear.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? It's a yes/no question. Do you believe there's a difference?
Oh, I think that we're talking about this case with the NCAA.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? Most people could answer this very simply. I'm curious if you're willing to do so.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just putting it into the context of the
Is that a yes?
conversation that we're having. I think that there are definitions related to sex.
Is
but
that
I
a
also
yes?
think
So I'm
that
trying to
when
get a
we're-
yes or no. I'm not trying to get a speech.
I'm
Is there a difference between women and men?
I think that there are definitions for biological sex.
Okay, so you're
which
not
is
answering
different
that.
than
Let me ask
gender.
you this question then. Why do women's sports exist? If you can't define a difference between women and men, why not abolish women's sports and just tell little girls to swim with little boys and see who wins?
Oh, I'm simply saying that that sex is
My
different
question,
than gender.
why
and I do
do-
believe
why
that
do women's
sports
sports
have a great
exist?
value. I mean, Senator, I'll tell you right
Ms.
now.
Robinson, please answer the question I'm asking you.
Absolutely.
Why do women's sports exist?
I think that there are so many positive benefits to sports.
But
I mean,
why have a
we've talked
separate
about it here
category for
today.
women? If there's no difference between women and men, why to have women's sports?
I'm saying that there's a difference between sex and gender, and that the NCAA has rules in place, which they have for the
So,
last decade.
Mr. Chairman,
which
I would
determine
like
that
to enter into
related
the
to
record an
participation.
article from Duke.
He just gave
Bitch,
up.
answer the question.
It's like, they are so blunt. They have such tunnel vision. They can't even answer. a
What I-
simple
what I-
Because
question.
they don't have an argument.
Well, I do
That's
hate,
why.
can't.
They
I
don't
do
have
hate-
an answer.
I hate that they won't let him. Like, I get where Cruz is coming from, but let her finish her stupid ass statement where she goes, "There's a difference between biological sex and gender." And he goes, "Cool. What is the difference? Tell me what the difference is." Oh, well, because gender is a spectrum, but it's fashion choices versus
Beautiful.
biological. So cool. So then it's not
So if
whatever
there's a
men or women or male.
biological-
It's male or female. Whatever word we need to say so that your stupid ass understands that the guy with a dick or the thing with the dick doesn't get to swim against women or females or whatever you want to call them. Call them poppies.
The
or
innies
pixies.
don't
Who
get to
gives a
swim
shit?
with the outies.
Yeah, real
Robert,
simple.
Rob brings up a good point. He says she's afraid to answer due to being canceled by the woke
Absolutely,
movement.
because who is employing her?
She's just so busy being proud of herself for being able
You're
to
canceled,
avoid
Rob.
questions. She's like,
Done.
I'm trying to say that there's
I
a
didn't
difference. Fuck, bitch.
Shut up.
So for anybody who has any doubt, I looked up
Oh, God, ouch.
in a medical dictionary
Medical.
the
From women.
definition of gender. And what did you say?
Mine?
It was probably 10 plus years.
Oh, easily. Because
This
it was when I was
dictionary?
in school. It's been a while. I'm not that old though. It was just yesterday.
So here's the definition of gender.
Gender.
Well, it's been a while since I looked at that thing.
Classification of the sex of a
The-
person into male, female, or ambivalent. Ooh, interesting. Specific sex of a person. Also see sex. Interesting. Gender identity. Also different than gender.
The
right.
inner sense of maleness or femaleness.
So this was already stupid.
differentiation.
This dictionary is already
Differentiation of
stupid 10
gender
years ago.
identity begins in infancy, continues through childhood, and is reinforced during adolescence.
Oh my.
That's you enforcing
God.
your. I get that.
I don't.
So we agree.
That's
We
just-
agree that gender is either male,
or
female, or ambivalent, right?
Well, how
Yeah.
can you have a disorder then?
What?
How can there be a disorder if it's a social contagion or it's figured out over the course of your life? I think I'm a girl. If that's the case, then there's no such thing as a gender identity disorder.
So
You
there
just are
needs
whatever
to
the
be-
hell you think you are. There's no such thing as a disorder, right? I can just make it up or decide one day, like, I'm a carrot. Great.
Awesome. Be a
Our
carrot.
little carrot's the best carrot we've ever had. It's a Caesar.
So,
It's a Caesar.
so again, I go back to the gender definition: male, female, or ambivalent. Right. So
Right. That's the problem.
I went further and looked up ambivalent.
Ambivalent.
Okay.
Knew you would.
So here's ambivalence.
Ambivalence. A state in which a person comments
Concomitantly.
concomitantly experiences conflicting feelings, attitudes, drives, desires, or emotions such as love
It means
and
I
hate,
don't know.
tenderness and cruelty or pleasure or pain toward the same person, place, object, or situation. Some degree ambivalence is normal. Treatment in severe debilitating cases consists of psychotherapy appropriate to the underlying cause, uncertainty or fluctuation caused by an inability to make choices in
Oh,
between
what do you know?
possessions, a conscience, oscillation, or fluctuation.
Basically, mean
So basically, what they're saying is
you're the male, female, or
you're
you
either
don't know.
male or female, or
You don't
Fucked
know.
up.
or you have confusion, right?
Yeah.
But it talks about in severe cases, meaning to me, these people that want to
Severe
change their
cases.
sex need psychotherapy. What does that tell you?
Well, but
You're all or nuts.
it doesn't. If we're accepting those definitions, it makes it impossible to defend
Mhm.
because you're allowed to not know. If you can have a gender that you're not, that part of the definition is you can be ambivalent, meaning I don't know for sure, I'm confused about it, then there is no disorder.
Or is ambivalence going into when you are born with two genders?
What if you just were never told the two words male or female? What if they never existed?
You would never know.
You would never know. That
Right.
would be ambivalence, or would it just be whatever? Who gives a rat's ass? Words define things, and words matter, or they don't. So we're talking. We have a language. We know how to speak. They have to mean something. So if we decided that they don't mean anything, meaning you can be a male, female, or other, then why are we talking
But
about
it's
it?
not. I don't think it's saying you can be other though. It's saying
That's
you
what
can have.
ambivalence is.
I didn't read it as that. I read it as you can be unsure, right?
Right.
Emotionally be unsure, but it doesn't say you can be something else. You're either a male or a female. You can have these feelings that you're unsure of what you are,
I get what you're saying,
and that's more of a psychological thing.
but that's also
than it is
concreting
a
that there's only
physical
two.
thing.
It's also
So I-
concreting that there's only two.
I have a question. Baby shower.
Yeah.
Cut the cake.
Uh-huh.
What are your two options?
Yellow, green. Oh wait.
Not for cake.
Oh, my bad.
Boy or girl?
Boy or girl? Yeah, that's a gender reveal.
Blue or
part.
pink?
But you can't have those anymore
Why not?
because you can't tell
You
your
get
kid what
cake.
gender they are. They'll decide later when they come out.
But you get cake.
Yeah, I'm down.
What Jack is saying, I think, I don't want to speak for Jack, but when
That's
he's
right.
getting back to that definition, it's more or less, it's almost like somebody from the woke movement wrote that.
Yeah, because they gave him a third option.
They gave him a third option.
There isn't a third option.
But there is a third option.
There isn't. You're either a male or a
Uh,
female.
Is that a,
I'm going to fight you on that.
Go ahead.
Oh,
What about when you have those humans that are born with both?
You're weird. Okay, well, there's two kinds. You have intersex and you have hermaphrodites.
Hermaphrodites.
Both are different things. We're going to cover
I don't
intersex,
know what
right?
an intersex is.
Yeah, what is
Wait till you learn
intersex?
what it's.
I know what a hermaphrodite is. I've had that.
Intersex is hard for me to describe, but it's
Position.
basically the way that you look isn't what you actually are genetically.
Should I play the video?
Yes, if you have a clip about intersex, it's important. It's a big deal, and they're very, very small percentage of people, but it's a real thing.
Well, hermaphrodites are very, very small
They're
percentage.
they're different. You'll see why.
Okay.
But it doesn't really go into it a lot. But
There's a whole documentary on
Brings it
intersex
up.
people.
Is it
I've
really?
never seen
It because it's not a big deal to most people because they're very, very rare.
Okay.
And so, like, you would test if you went and got a blood test, it would say you're a girl, but you look like a guy, and you have guy stuff.
Oh, so you have that like.
It's a very rare,
Oh, okay.
but it's an anomaly, and it's
So
one of
you're
these
a
things.
one
That, like,
in a billion.
when you're a woman who can't have a baby because you're born sterile, it doesn't make you not a woman.
You're still a woman.
You have something wrong with you. That exists as well, and it's the part that we take out of this.
Shit happens
They
to
always
people.
try to offer up those rare people of like, well, there's trans,
The
there's
one in a million
hermaphrodites.
well,
person.
that's exactly what happens here.
It's horse crap.
Okay, here we go. Here's the clip.
Do I understand your position to be that there are two sexes, but there can be more than two genders?
I wouldn't even say two, and we've got Dr. Lopez here as well, but there's also the definition of intersex. I think that often in these conversations we're conflating sex and gender, and I do want to affirm here that trans women are women. That is their gender.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand. Do you make a distinction between sex and gender?
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain that. Just do you think there are more than two sexes?
I believe that there's a definition for intersex as well that I want to acknowledge. But sex is assigned
there are
at birth.
three? I'm just trying to understand. I'm thoroughly confused. So you're born. I'm talking about biology. Male, female, and what else?
I believe that intersex is also acknowledged. But
Intersex.
again, I'm not a doctor here. What I can
And
say
what does intersex mean?
is that there's a difference between sex and gender. And I think in these conversations, we're conflating the two.
Yes, she is conflating the two or the three. And the problem with the whole thing is it's
I gotta
not an
look this
argument.
up.
It's not an argument. It's dumb to say, oh, well,
Intersex?
because intersex people exist, then it eliminates that ability. That's true. Because here's the thing. Psychopaths exist. Sociopaths
Right.
exist. There's people who totally okay with murdering lots of people. Is that okay? No, of course not, because we have a moral compass as human beings. There's things that are right and there's things that are wrong. And this idea that you are not a male or a female based on basic things like, chromosomes or, the thing hanging between your legs or lack of thing between your legs. Those are important parts of what makes you boy, girl, male, female, unicorn,
Right.
Okay.
dandelion. Who gives a shit what you call it?
You
But it's
ready
clear.
for how many intersex people there are?
Yeah.
Because it is a thing, apparently.
25, 30. It's one in so many millions.
1 in 2,000.
That many? I'm surprised
That's a
there's that
lot.
many.
Surprising.
Are you reading that right?
A range of 1 in 400, 1 in 4,500 to 1 in 2,000.
Okay.
But that makes sense. So you have 4,000 people. One person out of 4,000 could have that ink. Because think about
Yeah. that's average.
it's literally a birth defect.
Well,
And there's lots of birth defects. Look at
whatever-
all the shit we eat. So that wouldn't surprise
what's
me.
crazy about them though is they are in a unique position to choose how they present their gender.
Because you can do both.
Because chromosomally, I believe, or something. I don't know exactly what it is. I do know that it's confusing, and it's confusing for those people.
So it's in atypical chromosomes, gonads, and hormones.
Yes.
You can choose what you want to be, but
Well, it's the same as a hermaphrodite.
physically,
It's not the same as
different.
hermaphrodite.
No, physically, you're still what you are.
Well, hermaphrodite, you have both.
They have-
and usually
Yeah,
you
have
that's
choose-
what's different.
They have both organs, and usually one of them is underdeveloped. Whereas intersex
Yes.
people,
Hmm.
sperm and eggs, they have both.
I have to read into this. I'm super interested.
It's
now.
fascinating.
I'm
it's
super
it's
interested.
really, really low percentage. But it's very fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
But like the one story that I remember from the
How do you have sperm and eggs? You have a penis and a vagina?
No,
Or you have a
it's-
penis
it's-
and eggs, but no
it's different.
no
and
uterus.
They're not all exactly the same. You have to see the documentary on it, and it's called Intersex, and
I
it
have to
is
look that up.
wild. Because
So is it truly a birth defect?
It's a genetic thing. It's
Well,
would you essentially call it a
would be birth
disorder?
defect 'cause
It's an
you're one or the
anomaly.
other, yeah.
It's not normal, and we don't know about it because people who deal with it, it's a pain in the ass.
Aren't gonna say anything about it.
Let's imagine you look like a chick. 100% you look like a chick, or no, even
Let's
worse, you
imagine
look like a guy.
you look like you, but you have a vagina.
Or you look like you, and then
Scary.
in 6th grade you start growing tits, but you're a dude.
Well,
Right.
Now what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing we're talking about. Where like
you don't.
they are
those
not by
hormones
choice,
hit, yeah,
Right.
not by choice. They're
Right.
going to be
their
both,
body is.
but
yeah.
or one. And then when one's stronger or not, and like there was
Yeah.
this guy that was a guy. You look at him, that's a dude, and he found out that he had female reproductive organs, but they were grown over, like that he
Yeah.
didn't have an
So
opening
he didn't
for
have
it.
the vagina. He just
But he
had
had the
eggs
uterus and the other stuff.
yeah.
Holy shit! I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. You know what I mean? But those people exist, and
Well, and at
that's a
what
real
age?
problem.
What age do you find out? Like you're a dude, you're a man, you're
Yeah.
married.
You got to see the documentary.
You've
It's fascinating.
had kids, but then you have an ultrasound or something, and they're like, you have an ovary,
And it's upsetting that those guys, I get why they don't, but the fact that they don't step in here and go, hey, bitch, take the dress off. You're a dude.
What are you doing?
Knock it off.
Yeah.
You don't have any real problems. You're just a little effed in the head. Get on with your life.
Yeah, take
This
some
is some real
medication.
This is real shit I have to deal with. Like I have parts
I have
that I don't know what to do
I have
with.
to choose what, like, I can get uterine cancer and I'm clearly a dude.
If I'm going to get in a relationship, I have to have a conversation with somebody that's very serious. It's not just I have to go find some other circus freak who wants to look like a fat, ugly woman with a beard.
Exactly.
We're together and we're going to have babies because we're both stupid as hell.
We're both men and we're going to have babies. No, you have the chance of actually having babies, but you're like, hey, by the way, I might go through menopause.
That's a serious issue that
Real thing.
nobody brings them into the conversation because they're such a small percentage.
Right.
And the amount of trans people that are becoming trans by choice, it is by choice.
And again, you choose that, go for it, bro. Whatever you want. Don't shove it down my throat because I don't give a shit and I don't care.
Yeah,
but
the few
don't
people that
sit
have
here.
genuine dysphoria are being left behind as well.
Uh-huh.
They're being overrun by people who are just in it for the game because
Crazy
it's
as
popular
shit.
and it's cool. I'm going to dye my hair purple and I'm going to tell everybody what a dumbass I am. It's
This
so cool.
8-year-old, this 23-year-old man that says he's an 8-year-old woman.
Have we derailed it completely yet?
Freedom says no options, and then running, jumping, climbing trees, putting on makeup when you get there.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
pretty cool though.
But how dangerous is it though? How dangerous is it for, these are our university
It's only
leaders,
dangerous if people who have ill intentions get involved, and that could never happen. So it's not dangerous at all.
We're fine.
Yeah.
It's not
The
dangerous at
government
all.
only wants the best for us.
I've only heard one story of a guy being sent to a women's prison and then raping people. That's not that big of a deal. That's a couple of chicks. Who cares?
It's totally fine. And then you have the guys going into bathrooms with little girls.
Yeah, but
that's
you know,
cool too.
They don't rape that many
Totally.
people. It's like one.
No, it's
one
not
or
that many
two.
numbers. We're good.
Who cares? That's not
Totally
important.
good.
The important thing is that Rodney gets to call himself Rolinda and wear dresses
Princess.
and not shave, let his cock hang out, and just disgust the world with his existence. I just don't get it. And who are you kidding? Why is anybody? I don't know.
Why are we okay
It's
with
social
this?
contagion. The people who aren't okay with it aren't okay with it. The people who are okay
But
with
the
it
people who
playing
aren't
the-
okay with it don't scream loud
They're
enough.
either-
That's
well,
the
exactly.
problem.
because you're either in it, part of the team where like I want to be a chick today, or you have family members that are stuck with this disease and you're trying to protect them because they're your family members and you love them. Like, how am I supposed to like browbeat my child and be like, you'll be a fucking moron, take the dress off and whatever? Like if your kid comes to you with that concern, genuinely comes to you with that concern,
what do you do?
what kind of a monster are you if you just tell me you're a fucking idiot? Even though that should be the proper response.
Yeah, but it goes so beyond that though, because now you start to see in our society we have the kids that pretend like they're cats, and
Yeah, it's dumb.
And
I'm a goat. I'm a
grown
chicken
adults
today.
going to work dressed like cats.
How about
putting
Or
military
adults
guys.
going to work like we have in our Mesa school district, like the devil,
Yeah.
and baptizing these children of Satan in a fucking classroom.
Yeah, there's all kinds of sickness.
Are
And
you serious?
It really is. Historically, I think it goes back. You look at the fall of Rome and stuff. When debauchery and all that stuff becomes part of the norm, that's society's fall. But the scary part for me is that what it is sort of
This is what's
it's
coming.
a marker for the fall of society, and that's frightening.
That's one of the things. So I was talking with
Nobody's
Keith about this.
survived it.
So as soon as you start attacking gender, your system's gonna fall.
Yeah, I mean that's what it
That's
appears.
one of the first signs.
And we
It's a
got an
historical
instrument
marker.
today called the internet that just
It's
makes
so
it
simple.
totally
Yep.
easy to brainwash and
Everybody.
influence children.
Everybody.
That's why so many children are saying, I'm not sure what I am today. It's
Well,
not
because
because
nobody
they
else
were born that
knows.
way.
Nope.
They listen to it on
Yep.
here.
They're being fed. Yeah.
Yep. They're
So then-
being fed it.
So then I wonder. Doesn't that kind of mean that it's just the cycle of humanity?
It's the wrong cycle
I
to
guess
begin
so.
though.
Well, it
I
is-
mean,
it is
we
for
are,
those of us
we
who feel
are,
like we're
we
put
are all
out.
cyclical. We've watched it happen
It's
over and
happened
over
multiple
again. Is
times.
it just
Sure.
our time?
Kingdom societies fall. So like, does this mean America can't sustain? It's going to have to fall.
Possibly.
Is it our time?
So either
Possibly.
people have to start fighting against it, or it will be the downfall of society.
Sure.
Yep.
History repeats itself all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's that part of it is again, all of these things tend to lead into a real negative headspace.
But
I'm
America's
glad.
never truly fallen though.
No, but
And we're a really short-lived experiment
Oh,
so far.
yeah, I know.
In the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
it hasn't been very long.
It's
so
been a quick minute.
it's kind of a quick
Again,
fall.
the internet has a big play in this.
Absolutely.
We never dealt with that before.
Nope.
We had before it was gossip, communications verbally
Yep.
or by phone or by letters,
But
correspondence.
it was
Now we have
postponed
something right in
through
our
that.
face every day.
Every
Where
second.
these kids see this, they're on their computers all the time, and they go, maybe I am a girl, or maybe I am a boy.
Well,
And I
there's so
feel
many
like on
other.
some level, you just need to we don't need to play anymore.
We just need to stop entertaining it.
I'm not going to entertain. You do what you want to do. And you know what I mean? But beyond that, I think that'll die.
But there's so many other
Do you
countries.
think it will though, or do you think it's just gonna?
If we can get better at just ignoring it,
Yeah.
stop playing, then it'll die.
Is it or is it not going to though? Because
Oh, it
these
will.
kids are
It
still
will.
going to be
It
sucked
can't
into it.
sustain. If dudes keep getting together with dudes, call
Maybe
themselves
that's cool.
a couple, they're not going to have any kids. They can't because they don't have the equipment.
Well, we don't want dudes with dudes having kids anyway.
Well, but they're doing. I mean, then you get the trans woman and the trans man. They get together like, look, he had a baby and he's breastfeeding. It's a friggin' girl.
He's still a
and you're
chick.
guy.
Sorry,
But
he's got a
these are
beard.
things.
Good job.
These are
Yeah.
things that are happening. That can't sustain. It
No.
just can't.
Not at all.
And they'll go back. Their
But
argument,
how many generations are we going to have to do this for?
I don't know.
their argument on the left would be because of what we just said, you and I,
Yeah.
is that, well, are you saying that two gay men can't adopt a child?
Well, they
No.
can adopt a child.
I'm not saying that at all.
They can go buy one. That's
That,
cool.
that has
Go
nothing
buy
to
a
do
kid.
with the argument, what we're saying right now.
All I can,
Physically push a baby out of a JJ. A man cannot do that.
right. And I think honestly, when it comes right down to it, these sorts of things, they can't sustain. I don't think they can. I could be wrong because I'm not that smart, but I don't think it can sustain.
Well, I think the internet
Absolutely,
is
Rob.
the internet is the biggest problem.
It is a big problem, but it's also the solution. It just needs to be more people going like, hey, you know what?
The other
This
way,
is
yes.
stupid. But it's hard
Arguing.
because it's compelling. Like we talk about it. Why are we talking about it?
Because it's got our attention.
But you look
Well,
at
I want to talk about it to bring it to light to people
But
who
here's the
don't
thing.
know.
but that's the thing. People who don't know, who doesn't know, and the people who don't know, is there a reason that they need to know? Like if you don't live in a major metropolitan area, if you live in a rural town, how many of these freak idiots are there on your streets? Probably none, maybe two. And you look at them and you go, that guy's a weirdo.
Yeah,
they don't
he's
deal
just
with
a
it
crazy guy in
because
the
he's a
corner.
freaking weirdo. So the more that we talk about it, the more we accept it, the more that we let it be a thing and entertain it. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Is, it's hard. It's what do you call it? Self-fulfilling prophecies. It's
Yeah.
like the more that we talk about how stupid they are,
The more
it
like they get.
publicizes them.
Well, it's the same thing with anything that's going on. As I tell Keith, I said, the world's going to get to the point to where the people who aren't saying anything are going to say something.
Right. And that's
How
scary.
long have the farmers just been doing their? I don't have time for this. I got stuff to do. I got to go to work. I got to do this. When are you going to get to the point to where those people are going to say something? Then you're going to have a problem.
That's a good question. I don't know.
So it's
I've
the
always
same
said that.
thing
When the
with
people
this.
who want to be
When do
left
we
alone
get to the
get pulled
point
into
to
the
where
fight, we're screwed.
Well, I mean,
these parents are going to say something or not, like say something to their kids? I'm sorry. Don't just slough it off. Don't just go along with it because your 5-year-old thinks whatever. I'm sorry. When I was in high school, I wore dudes' clothes every single day. Doesn't mean I wanted to be a dude.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
mean I was going to be called, whatever the fuck a dude's
But that's
name
part.
is.
That's part of the problem. What you just said, Jack, is the people who want to be left alone get drug into it. That's when the problem happens. But it is happening because now, when you look at school, you send your kids to school. Now they're being exposed to pornography.
Who knows
they're being
what?
Exposed to
Oh, yeah.
more sex now. So it is affecting those people that just want to
100%.
be left the hell alone.
I don't know
And-
what we're supposed to do with the level of just insanity that's
Ridiculousness.
going on. The books that are being put out for children and provided in libraries. I don't think it's necessary to have those things, but they exist. So what do we do? Do you censor it? Yeah, maybe because
you
they're
have to
children.
resist
You
it.
be involved.
They're your kids.
Yeah,
But
you have
be
to resist
involved.
it, though.
You have to be involved to a certain point, no
I
matter
can't
what
understand
we were.
how there's a disconnect of their children, and why are we letting them make any decisions? We don't let them make
Your
most
child.
decisions. Would you give them a box of matches, a thing of razor blades, a gun, and let them vote or have a beer? No. Can they get a tattoo? No.
No.
Can they change their sex? Well, it's up to them.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
it
right.
makes no sense.
How is that the same?
At its base is like, no.
Do they
whack,
get to
you're not.
drive? No.
I feel like a girl. I don't give a shit. You're not a girl. You're a boy.
Yeah.
You're a boy.
You're a
And
boy,
when you
go
get
eat
to
your
be
dinner,
18, you
goodbye.
can do whatever you want.
Yep.
When you get to be an adult, then you get to decide if you want to be a weirdo and have no relationships. That's 100% on you.
Well, and that was,
But as a
didn't
child,
we
you don't
all
get
grow
the
up?
choice.
Didn't we all grow up with that?
My sister
You
dressed
want
me up
whatever?
like a
I
little
don't
girl
care.
when
Go
I
to
was a
dinner,
kid.
do whatever you want.
I said, there's a photograph of me dressed in a dress with a little tiara and all this shit because I had my mother, my
Because
sister,
she
and
dressed
me,
you up.
and
Yeah.
it was cute. And I didn't go, you know what? I think
I want to be a girl.
I was in the Girl Scouts essentially.
Did you have
You know what
Did you have a
happened?
beard then?
You didn't become a
No,
girl.
I couldn't grow facial hair back then, but I had long hair. I had long hair when I was 11 years old. We took a month-long van trip.
Yeah.
Me, 10 teenage girls, and 2 adult women. And we camped the whole way. I learned a lot on that trip. But you know what didn't do? It
Made
didn't
you a
turn
better
me into a
husband,
girl.
didn't it?
Made me I learned a ton. The thing is, I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want to be ostracized.
You didn't want to be a
liked
girl
girls.
when you were done.
I liked girls. I wanted to be around them. I've always been better friends with girls than with guys historically. I'm not homosexual. I'm not transgender. I know that I'm a guy. I don't understand what
And
that
most
disconnect
people
is.
feel like you do, Jack.
Yeah.
Most people feel that way.
So I don't have the ability
why
to
are the
understand.
minority still dictating everything that goes on in this country?
Because they're willing, they have nothing to lose.
They yell louder.
Exactly. They have nothing
yell
to
louder.
lose. Yeah. But
Everybody
I mean,
hates me
here we
already.
have, without getting into the political end of this, here we have a president who represents a party that is pushing Marxism on this country. Nobody seems to be bothered by it. Well, they're in power. They're doing what they do, and we're letting them happen. Now they're even considering voting this guy in again. I mean, we're clearly very close to becoming a Marxist, whatever you want, totalitarian government.
What did Marx?
Yeah.
What was Marx's view on homosexuality and stuff?
Not sure. I don't think it was positive.
Well, I wonder. I mean,
don't
I'm
know.
very curious because if they are,
Well,
And about that
communism
ilk-
wasn't for it.
Right.
So
So-
Marxism.
it makes me wonder how do they wrestle with that themselves? Like, I'm transgender and believe in socialism, communism, or whatever it is. It's like you can't do. It's, there's
Well-
the morons, the queers for a Palestine thing.
But
It's
do they?
Well, that's the
but,
freaking homosexuals for
Yeah, gays for Palestine.
Hamas.
you'd be murdered.
Yeah,
Push
once
yourself
they
off a
get in
building.
with total power, they'll take all these people and line them up against the wall and shoot them.
Marxist theories of gender are fundamentally concerned with analyzing the relation between classes, exploration of gender inequality.
Exploration agenda.
Women's oppression is regarded as the product of the economic, political, and social structure.
But do they really think that far? That's my question.
No,
so
they
so
don't. They don't.
They don't think about communism or Marxism. They're
No.
not thinking about
They
that.
just
They're
put on
thinking
the
we want to be.
They
we
don't
wanna
even
be
know
part
what
of
it
the-
is.
Right. They want to be part of the good old boys.
No,
Club.
they want to be taken
And-
care of.
Right.
That's what they want to be.
And that's
They want to be taken care of.
and that's the direction we're heading.
Put on my Che Guevara t-shirt and I'm good to go. Malcolm X, 100%. Like, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. People are stupid. It's unfortunate. I don't know what to do about it. That's the thing. It's like, it's all really scary.
The fall
And
of
then,
Athens.
and then I don't know what to do about it other than just kind of go on with my life. And I don't know how
hope
to,
it doesn't.
I don't know how
Hope
to
it
fix the
doesn't
world.
come to that point to where we got to put up arms and fight for our country. But
Well, I mean, but
Could
there,
be.
there again, I don't know that needs to be the solution. But if it does become the solution, then I'm okay with that.
yeah,
It
We
could be.
we need to take the people out of power that are pushing the agenda.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what
well,
we do.
That's what it boils down to. I don't. It's astounding to me how incapable that we seem to be. Because again, we have three people that are running for president or that were running for president that, in my opinion, and I think under any level of scrutiny, you can recognize who is going to help change those things. You have RFK, Vivek, and Trump.
Right.
And they're hated by everybody that's in the political establishment and has been for decades.
which
because
makes you kind of
the
happy.
basic argument that's so easy to see, but again, so hard for people to come to grips with is like the people who've been there for decades don't want to get anything done. They're not going to fix any of this shit.
No.
Any of the actual problems that exist. They have no desire to fix any of them.
They don't need to.
They're
no, they're
enriching
getting
their
their
own
money.
lives.
They're good.
100%. But if you don't see that or not willing to see that, and what are you left with? How many people are running that you can say are of that ilk that the establishment's terrified of them being there? Just on the level of the Senate, the House of Representatives, how many people can get in there that are genuinely decent people? I don't know, because we don't
Right,
get
right.
to know
We
who
don't
they
see
are.
them.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
By the time you know who they are, Tulsi Gabbard is a good woman.
they've already been corrupted.
And she's already in this thing where nobody's sure what she is or who she is. And I
Right.
don't know that she has enough power to get into a good influential place.
Right.
But she's the kind of person that I think you want,
Yep.
where
I
she
agree with that.
sees what's going on. She goes, oh, these guys are assholes.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree
I
with that.
don't align with you.
Yeah.
So you're going to make your choices based on information you have and using your brain, and that eliminates you from a political party.
but again, going
Right.
and getting that information,
Hey.
looking for that information.
Right.
You're not just being fed it on TV.
Right.
And
And-
that's the problem is nobody's actually taking the time to do it. Because why would I take the time to do that when this is feeding me all my information?
'Cause, yeah, that's what they rely on. But
Because that's what they paid for.
why do we still have leaders in government? And I could say this because I'm 81, that are in their
Today.
70s and
Woo.
80s.
Yeah.
They don't belong in government anymore.
You mean
Right,
you don't think you could run the country?
No, I know I could.
You don't think you could be president?
I probably could do better than the guy that's running it right
true.
now.
He's kind of,
but that's
he's
not
what?
saying
He's
a
a wet
lot.
paper towel, Jack. What the
He's
hell did you
Wet
call
bag
him?
of dog food.
Wet bag of dog
But
food.
my point is what Jack's point is. Why don't we have the Tulsi Gabbards and some of these other people getting into office to change things and to look at things a little differently? These people don't look at anything differently. They
They're
don't
80
need
years
to.
old. They don't
They're
have
all the
anything
same.
They don't
different to
need
look
to.
at.
The weird thing to me is when taking out the ageism, by the way,
Wow, Jack.
But no, look at some of the younger people that are in there and then stay in there, and that's when you get AOC, and AOC is clearly a moron,
Oh, she's such
Dumb
an
in the
idiot.
dirt.
and she's halfway decent to look at. People go like, yeah, she's fuckable. I'll totally elect her,
Totally good.
Yeah.
and that's
That's where it
extent of
ends.
it's frightening, but it is the extent of it. It's like,
Yep.
you know, is it a popularity contest? Mostly,
Pretty much.
Right.
but I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix it.
Because the voters are stupid.
Well, the
Yep.
voters are
And the
people,
people
that are
that
living lives.
the district that she's running in is all her people. They
Right.
don't know any better. They believe in her.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming them. They believe her.
I am.
What I'm saying is
But
they
that's
believe
what
her.
they've been fed.
That's what they've been fed.
Right.
So she automatically wins.
Yep.
And
We
she-
all know she's dumb and in dirt.
And she
Dumb and
continues.
rocks.
The continuing to win is the part where I get upset
Yep.
because it's like I've seen those meetings where her own constituents are yelling her down, telling her.
Oh
she's-
yeah. It's
And
just,
so it's like, so how is she still there?
yeah. Why is she still
I
there?
haven't seen that, but
I've seen it. I've seen it, and it's like, okay, there are people that are waking up.
There
and
are
they're like,
people
this
that think
bitch
she's
doesn't
dumb.
know dick, and she's still there, and it's because why? Because either people aren't paying attention, or as some other people have mentioned, there might be some rigging going on.
no.
Rigmarole.
In the elections, I don't know, Jack.
There's
Speaking of
there's some folks that
elections,
think there might
I
be some shady shit going
sent-
on.
Wow.
I sent this to Keith this morning.
You know how many ballots got sent to my house last election cycle?
Do you know how many ballots still got sent to my mother who's been dead over 10 years?
Oh, now I'm not even counting the dead people. I'm just counting ballots that weren't me or my wife, the two people that live there.
Sent to your house. And you guys have been there forever.
Long time. There were 5. We got 5 mail-in ballots, and it's like that's ridiculous.
Well, you do know that you don't actually need an ID to vote.
I know
or anything like
This
that.
is my point. We weren't even trying. So if you're trying, if you're trying to
you
cheat,
should have just signed them and sent them back.
I could have. What would they have done?
Nothing.
They would have counted them. But I didn't know we were playing that game.
I know.
Right.
Exactly.
So I didn't know it was necessary. But
now
even
you
so,
know this time it's
but it's the
necessary.
thing. If you're harvesting and you're doing all that bullshit, because the Republicans want to do it now too.
Yeah, of
Because like,
course.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And it was just
We're
gonna
gonna
this
cheat,
race
let's
to
all
stuff
cheat.
ballot boxes and just big old cells of jackasses
Arizona's going to be like 8
checking on ballots. Like,
million people in Arizona.
yeah, there's 45 million people in our district. There's only 2,500 people here. Yeah, we have 45 million votes.
Yeah,
They
that
were-
makes sense.
They were talking about the difference between the elections in the USA and Cuba, which is a communist
Right,
country
right.
still, as we know, even though they say
It's not.
they have freedom and everything. It's still a communist country. But they were saying, if you look at the way they handle the elections in Cuba,
Uh-huh.
now I don't know this is a factor now, but I'm just telling you what I read.
Yeah.
If you look at the way they handle election in Cuba compared to the way we handled the last election here, it's night and day. They have to identify themselves there. They have to sign a piece of paper.
Yep.
Now, yes,
Your
they
signature
may be,
goes on that ballot.
they may be forced to sign a certain way. I can't
Yeah,
tell
we
you
don't know about that.
but they do need to sign. We don't
Yeah.
do anything.
Right.
We have no accountability.
you don't have to do anything. You get a ballot that doesn't have your name on it, doesn't have your identification, doesn't show you that I voted for this.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Go to turn it in. They're like, what did you check on there?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're like, you meant the other one, right? Here's your whiteout.
Over there, over there, over there. Here you go.
Okay, good job. Good job.
So these is as of
This morning.
3 hours ago, actually.
Oh, you did
So
new
I
ones?
updated
Okay.
it.
Big friggin' criminy. Are you kidding me?
So yeah.
So, but again, go to the other side. So Trump is at 78% of Arizona, 477,000. But Biden's at 89 at 367. How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Well, that's of their particular party, right?
That's not their party. Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
he's at 89% of their party.
Of the Democrats.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Who are those other 3 people?
But
People that dropped
I know,
out.
right? You don't even know who they are.
They dropped out.
But the scary thing is, so he's got 367,000, right,
Uh-huh.
in the state of Arizona. Trump has 477. That's not a big lead.
No, it's not a big lead. But
No.
even funnier is
That's
this doesn't
easily
include
to
any-
be.
Does this include independents?
No, I don't.
No.
Of course not.
no.
So
No,
this is just
only
registered. How many registered Republicans are there?
How many registered? Yep, that's all it
Democrats are
is.
There's more registered Republicans than the
Of course there
Democrats
is.
in
there? Well, I
Arizona.
think so because 78%. only 78% is 400 something thousand,
Yeah.
where 89% is 300 something.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's a larger percentage. But,
So-
But Democrats won Arizona last
Yeah,
year.
but they took a lot of independents last
that's
year.
the independent vote, and that's what matters. These things are always decided by independent vote.
Right.
How many independents show up, and that's the thing.
Or
As
how
long
many
as-
dead people show up.
That's what
That's
that matter.
true.
But they don't show up. They only vote by mail, and that's it's hard to leave the spirit
That's
world,
true.
let alone on.
And
we've
now
done
we don't
enough
even know how
paranormal stuff.
many-
You know,
Oh,
they
yeah,
can't show up on voting day.
They
They've
might
gotta mail
show
in.
up. They might show up. You never know.
Dad, do you want me to bring you? Do you want me to bring you to vote?
Bring me to vote.
Okay.
Stand me up and let me vote.
So my question is the
Like
delegates.
weekend at Bernie's.
Because I don't understand the delegate portion of it. So Trump picked up
43.
43 delegates and Biden picked up 72.
I don't know what that means.
What is that? What are
Delegates in
I know
there,
what delegates are, but how does that
they're
influence?
representing in their party.
Right.
How many delegates supporting Biden, and in the Republican Party, how many delegates so far have committed to Trump?
But what
That's
is
all
a
it means.
delegate?
A delegate is somebody that's a member of the party that is already committed
It's our vote.
to that particular candidate.
It's the electoral college.
So that's scary then.
It's terrifying,
right that
Yes.
Biden has such a high number of delegates.
but that doesn't mean
If we're
anything
talking
yet.
Doesn't mean anything.
Not yet.
Because when the
not
votes
yet.
actually happen, all the delegates generally go one place.
That's true. That's
They
true.
don't. That's why they do the whole total
That's
thing
true.
and the map turns colors, because the way it's supposed to work is once the votes come in and you see, oh, here's what our people want. Overwhelmingly, they want
You
this.
vote towards
As
one
a
side or the
delegate,
other.
you're supposed to vote for that.
Most of the
They
time,
can make
right.
the decision not to. This is what Trump was trying to petition the courts about.
Right.
It's going like, wait a minute, that's bullshit. I know
So
I had
does
this
it go
place
by
locked
like
down.
zip code or area or
Ultimately, it's the state. But
Okay.
but as far as the smaller districts, how it breaks
Yeah.
down, that's what the whole gerrymandering thing is.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at the way they draw
yeah.
the district lines,
Yeah.
it's like what the.
It's
But
all screwed up.
it's a strategic thing so they can get more votes from more people.
But it's also a
all very
convention
weird.
show. It's a show for the convention where nobody gets it on the first ballot. Now it doesn't work that way because the only two people running are Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
But used to be there'd be a second and third candidate
option
that
for
was
each side.
strong enough
Yeah.
to hold at least go through the first round of voting
Yeah.
because they do a round at a time and you get so many delegates until you got the majority of delegates and you got the nomination.
But they're all
Okay.
in from the get go.
Right.
Of course, they're all paid off before then.
Well, that's the
Exactly.
thing. Like
It's a show.
the why in the hell is the Nikki Haley bitch still running?
Right.
What is she doing?
Is she even still?
No,
Well,
she dropped out.
But even,
Okay.
did she really?
Yeah,
I'm
she
surprised.
She dropped out, but she was on the ballot.
I know,
dropped
but
out.
That's
All
what
of
was
them.
So was DeSantis.
Right.
So
They
is
were all on
Vivek
the
and
ballot
DeSantis
still.
and everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're listed.
But
here,
it
aren't
did
they? Yeah.
say on mine when they dropped out.
Yeah, no,
When I
Nikki Haley
picture
definitely
her.
dropped out.
Yeah.
So did DeSantis. That's why I
Nikki
say
Haley's
Trump and
fucking
Biden have
schmuck.
no competition, just like the last time.
Right.
Years ago, I remember going back.
Oh, there's Chris Christie. It is a dude.
I remember going back to
I thought it was
JFK's
a
election.
chick.
There was always at least a second strong candidate in that party
Yeah.
to go at least one round or two rounds in the conference convention.
They just threw names in there, just especially on
what's-
the Democrat side. They just threw names
Oh,
in there.
I
just
never
see.
even heard of him.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know who the
Never
hell they
even
are.
heard of him.
You know who Ron DeSantis is. You
Yeah.
know who Chris Christie is.
Yeah.
You know who Nikki Haley is.
But
you
we
know
don't follow
any
the Democratic Party.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You
but
haven't
still,
even heard of him.
if I mean,
It's Facebook. It's
I think- yeah, I
you know
think
internet.
who RFK Jr. is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so
No, you're right.
you
They're
know.
not getting the same exposure, but
No.
I'm saying if you're a dedicated Democratic voter,
Oh,
you know who
absolutely.
they are.
Absolutely.
yeah, dedicated.
Like Jack. Jack's
right
all the way
fucking
for
there.
Biden. I know it.
No,
Don't
you know.
kid me.
Oh no, I what can I say?
you have to read that. I don't have my reading.
He
glasses
makes
on.
better choices.
The
That's all it
delegates
is.
are
He really
based
makes
in the census and the district, so the population in thereof. That's why the illegals matter so much because they're counting them in the census, and that adds up to delegates.
Ah,
That's how delegates are assigned based on your population.
Mhm.
Hmm. But we haven't done the census in a couple years.
Either way, it's just
They
it's,
use the old census.
the
The
idea.
old census
the
doesn't
idea
have all
of
the new
having-
illegals that
I
jumped over
know.
their
there's
thing.
a lot of people that died. Just
So
in the
that's a
last
lot of
census.
delegates that have
The idea that people can vote
Oh, that was pre-Rona.
without going in and voting.
They have to use the most recent census.
That
They-
was
they
pre-Rona.
can't make one up.
No,
So
but that
whatever the
was
last
pre-Rona.
census was, well,
Okay.
whatever it is.
I just feel like it's as long as we allow these questions to be asked, it needs to be a real simple, straightforward thing. It's like, you want to vote? Sure. So we need you to have an ID and show up on
It's
voting
not
day.
going to happen, Jack.
I know it's
Well, you
not
need
going
to
to
show
happen.
what area you live in to know where you need to vote.
What's wrong with showing your ID before you vote? What's
It's
wrong with
hard,
that?
it's almost impossible to cheat that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What's
well,
wrong
So
with
hold
that?
on. So let me understand something. So you and I walked in the other day to vote.
Yeah.
If we walked up and said, I don't have an ID,
They had an election.
they would have let us vote?
Yes.
Yeah. They would.
Yes.
Really?
No, not in Arizona. I don't think. I don't
Yes.
think you
Yes.
vote without an ID.
No, they
Why
wouldn't.
didn't I go? I should have gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
We
that
talked-
guy
we
right
talked-
there. That's me.
I had
We
to.
talked about it.
the
Like
last
literally, you
election-
don't need to have anything to vote
You're
in
the
Arizona.
sausage
The-
king of Chicago.
Jack, the last election, I had a new address because we moved to a new place, and I went to the old place,
Voting place.
for voting,
Yeah.
instead of the new one. And they looked at it, and they looked at my address, and they said, "Okay, just sign over here." And
And then did you go to the second place where you're supposed to
I
vote?
could've.
Vote again?
I
You
didn't.
should've.
Yeah, but you presented an ID.
You still
I know,
presented
but
an
still
ID.
had the wrong
The
address.
I
the
get
address
that,
only
but I don't think the
matters
address
for,
matters.
and even still, you're in all the same area that you were for your new address. It's not like you moved across
That's not
states.
my point. My point is that they don't watch what they're doing. That's
does-
why.
But I'm going to fight you on this.
Go ahead.
So you have your ID.
Mhm.
If you haven't updated your ID, that's your actual own responsibility.
Yes,
you only
it
have
is.
what 30 days or something to update
Right,
it.
right.
So
Technically,
they
shouldn't be
can't
valid.
babysit you on that.
No, they can't.
So they're going off of the valid ID that you presented them.
I'm not complaining about.
It's not
I'm saying that they should have said to me that you should be at the cell, the polling.
Why would they
place.
say that though? Your ID hasn't changed.
What do you mean, my idea?
It
You
should be
said your
invalid.
ID still had your old address.
Right. It should be invalid.
So
But
why?
something on their end should flag it saying, hey, this person doesn't live this.
Tell them he's in the
should-
wrong place.
There's no way it could do that though.
I tell you what, if you go
You're
take
bringing
an
your-
expired ID to a Circle K and try to buy the liquor or
Oh, you're
cigarettes,
done.
like, no, I'm sorry, this is expired. Yeah, it's still me though. Still my birthday.
Still,
Right.
clearly,
What
that's
I'm
all
saying
you
They
need
won't
it
take
for.
it. They
I'm
won't
not
take it.
driving.
All right, we can go into these little nitpicking
It
things,
is
but
nitpicking
Jack's
things.
right. We need to present an ID.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to do.
Absolutely need to have an
But
ID.
there again, it's one of those deals that solves a problem and it's simple. Just like,
And that's
if
why we
are
need
you
to-
a
That's why
boy
they
or a
won't do
girl? Yeah, exactly. Because then it
It
eliminates-
makes sense.
it's all political ammunition.
We can't do it.
This, if you've been in politics for 10, 20, 30 years and you haven't done dick, that your game. It's like, this is what I do. What do? I pretend like I give a shit about stuff that I don't really give a shit about.
And
Exactly.
so
I'm
you can
enriching
elect
my
me and then
family.
I'm good for a while.
Nancy Pelosi's so fucking rich.
Oh my god.
She doesn't have a job. She's never had a job. You know what
Well,
I
and
mean?
her income was what, $100,000 a year?
Doesn't matter what
and
it is.
now
They're
you're
millionaires.
making-
They're millionaires
I'm
Millions? 160 a year.
from investments.
160 a year.
Her
Right,
husband's
exactly.
And you're
Exactly.
how much is your worth?
all of that is so above board crooked as hell.
Yeah, but she's very sweet.
Oh,
No,
I'm
she's
sure
not.
she
What-
is.
Big old juggler she got going
Sucking
on there.
it.
Look at them titties on that bitch. I'm voting her back in. I don't care if they're
Go.
95 years
roll,
old. Let's see
roll
him.
them titties up and let's go.
Let's see him, Grandma. Yes.
Hold on, let me roll them.
Gross.
The same thing with why do you think the Democrats want 8 and 10 million illegals to be able to vote? It's not because they're worried about their future or they're worried about
Oh,
what's
no.
best for the illegals.
They want the
They,
votes.
they want the votes.
Of course they
That's
do.
the whole motive for bringing them here in the first place.
Still
Nothing
is.
else.
It's still so wild to me. It's like, if you guys accept that as like a way to enrich your side or whatever, like, and then I've heard push for like as a gateway to citizenship, allowing them to serve in the military. I'm like, can you fucking morons just for a second think about
Can
how
you
stupid
imagine?
how stupid that is. Like, you came here illegally. Okay. Well, here's the deal. If you'll join our military, we'll train you how to use these weapons to kill people.
Then you're
We'll-
good.
Then we'll make you a citizen. What are you fucking stupid?
Well, they're allowed to carry weapons now.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I
Yeah.
know, but
Did you hear about
that's what I'm saying though. Like that level of just what the hell? Like, you get murdered in that story too. Don't you understand?
Right,
I know.
right.
Your ass isn't saved in this. Just
I don't
so
know
you
what's going on. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why anybody's like, yeah,
That's
you know
a
what?
great idea.
If we get them here, it'll get us more votes. Yeah, but then eventually they're going to kill us.
It's going to kill us.
But they're
Right.
gonna
So?
stay here.
The leaders in the U.S. Army, the general U.S. Army, he wears dresses.
Hey, well, let me light the buildings on
Dude,
fire.
what?
He wears dresses.
He wears dresses. He's a trans.
The dude
The admiral,
in
Dude in
charge.
charge of the U.S. Army.
Admiral Puss in Boots.
That's the Navy. That's another one.
My bad.
There's two of
General Mysakis.
I don't know about the Navy guy. I'm just knowing the guy that heads the Army wears dresses.
Oh, the cross dress. That's different than the transgender.
Yes, it is a cross dresser. Yes, you're right. I'm not saying it's
I like
them.
to
transgender.
wear panties every once in a while, too.
We have a cross-dresser and a transgender in
No,
charge of our military.
I don't know if he's a transgender. I didn't say that.
There's a general.
I said he
there's-
wears dresses.
Who's the
I
general?
know.
We have one. You guys, the long blonde curly hair.
Yeah.
What's that one called?
She's not. It's not
How dare you?
military though,
He.
What?
right?
What's the uniform about?
Who is that?
I don't know. I don't remember what her name is. or
I
his
know,
name is.
Because
I
he
think
likes
it's
it.
Miley.
Got the glasses.
Miley Cyrus.
I don't know.
No, I fuck Miley. I don't know.
Miley
But that the general one.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What's her name?
I know who you're talking about.
Somebody chat about it. Read.
What is
Look
it?
it up. What's her
What
name?
am I looking up?
The chick with the dick. That's in the
No,
military.
no.
Yeah, that's really not going to help me on
Gen-
Google.
Put it. Military chicks with dicks. Is it-
Generals.
Look on.
Generals.
Is she a transgender?
not-
Where's Rumble?
Is she a transgender?
General.
No, isn't she like? Is she military though?
No, I think
She's
it's-
wearing a uniform.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
she's got
about
the
that?
glasses, right?
Yeah.
The curly hair and the
That's
glasses.
the one I'm talking
Rachel
about.
Levine.
Rachel Levine. Yeah. What is she?
Is a professor in whatever.
No,
I don't
that's
give a
not
shit.
what-
Oh, you came from Penn State. No fucking wonder.
What is up with Penn State?
They're gay.
Seriously,
I don't know. Well, look it up.
Openly transgender government official in the United States is the first to hold an office that requires Senate confirmation. On October 19th, 2021, Levine became the first
Yeah, what is she?
openly five-star
Is she a
officer
Scientologist?
of the nation's 8 uniformed. I don't fucking know. It doesn't say.
Uniform what? She looks like
Uniformed services.
she could be.
public health services.
Okay, so she's not.
That's this fucking dude.
So right. So that's
Oh, that's the
What
one
is-
you see on
what
the
is.
list of fucking
Yeah.
one you
What's the
don't know.
uniform for?
Because he is in
Is she-
the. he's
is she
in the
part of Sea Org?
military. He is in the military.
It's not Sea Org though, because it kind of looks a little bit like a Scientologist uniform.
Right?
It's the Secretary for Health, so it probably wouldn't surprise me. Hold on.
But she's military, is she not?
I gotta Google. I gotta.
Is it not? Is whatever. The fuck, I don't know. It's so confusing. I always thought it was a military person.
It's like the medical thing. What the fuck are you?
She's public health.
So
Public
anywho,
health.
as I was saying,
But why do you have a?
we light the building on fire.
Okay, go ahead.
So all the problems with letting immigrants in and all this and that.
U.S. Public Health.
Then you get
Service.
back to why is that an issue? Same reason why we don't want to invite Muslims in at these alarming rates either, because you don't really understand the motivations, except that when it comes to illegal immigrants, we can assume that they're pro-American on some level, that they want to be American citizens, that they have a desire to change their lives and better their lives.
Right.
If you're a Muslim
Sorry. Not
and you
for
look into the doctrine that makes you Muslim, at the core of it, in order to achieve peace and harmony on the earth, because it is a religion of peace, you just have to murder everybody else
And then you're
who
good.
Right.
disagrees with you.
Right.
That's how they
That's how they-
accomplish
Peace.
peace on earth, is
Right.
kill everyone who disagrees.
Yep.
But people think it's wrong to go against that. And I just don't understand that sort of disconnect. Like, what is wrong with you? The whole basis of their religion is kill everybody else. And then we're good.
We're good.
But people are against, you can't stop that.
Well,
Why
the
not?
other thing that's scary is I'm sure somewhere in the art of war.
As a 4-star admiral,
Right.
my
Right.
But it doesn't say of what.
No, of
It's
sex.
the Navy.
Is it
Transgender.
Navy?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'm somewhere. I'm sure I've never read the art of war, but I'm sure somewhere in there it talks about infiltrating a country from within.
Oh yeah.
And what better setup do we have right now? Is
Than
they're all
what we
coming
have
over
now?
here, they come in and they kill us from the inside out.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
How many times have I said we're letting all these people in, and 2 years from now they're going to be like, oh, Joe and Susan are great neighbors as they burn the fucking place down
yeah, I mean,
because their job is to go in, get a job, buy a house, and 5 years from now you meet at this place and you blow up whatever.
I just think that there's something to be said for the fact that there are people coming in that definitely have a desire to become American and are taking advantage of that situation. And then I also think,
There are
That-
ones who are not.
well, there's people that are second and third generation Latinos that are still all about that Mexican pride. Why? You left. Why did you
came
leave?
here
Because it
for
was
a
so
reason.
great. What is the Viva la Mexico bullshit when you're done with it? You left. There is a national pride for some of these folks that have left the country they came from, but still hold on to it.
And
But that's a weird thing.
I'm all for appreciating your heritage.
Culture is one thing.
Yes,
but
appreciating your
nationalism,
culture.
Your nation is a different thing.
But sitting here waving the Mexican flag,
Right. That's not okay.
you're not in Mexico, bro. Go to Mexico if it's that
there-
great.
So let's talk about that, because 15 years ago, the Mexicans were the big talk of the town, right? Coming in through the border.
They're losing their grip on it.
Now,
Yeah.
they're not even the
No, I'm not even
they've,
worried about
they've,
that.
they've taken over LA.
right.
Like in that whole, there's that whole area where like you go down to San Diego and stuff like that. And it's Tijuana, and Tijuana is San Diego.
Yep.
Right.
There's a weird
Same
crossover thing there. But because whatever your culture is, wherever you go, that's what it's going to be. It
You're
doesn't
gonna
matter.
bring that with you.
Whatever side of the arbitrary line that you're on, if you like to have chickens in your yard and eat goats and whatever,
That's
you're going to
cool.
do that no matter where you're at. So the hate for them is silly to me. But there is a thing. We have borders and we should have laws about it.
Right.
We screwed up the first time when we said, well, you guys are already here. So just don't do it anymore. And we'll go ahead and let you make you guys all citizens.
Exactly.
The first time they did the amnesty thing,
Yep.
again, without having a wall or a secure border or guards ready to shoot people, you can't do that. And this is why. This is what you end up with when you do.
Yep.
We're in a situation where it's untenable. There's no way to fix it now.
Nope.
They're going to keep coming. We're going to keep bitching about it. There's still no wall.
Well, and
Walls don't work. So fucking make one and then
we're
shut up.
babysitting
Right.
them. This is the thing: is not only are we letting them in, at least before we were letting them in, but we weren't taking care of them. Like you had to get a job, you had to do whatever you do. Like the government wasn't taking care of you, but now we're taking care of you. Now we're giving you $50,000 a fucking month.
Yeah.
They're getting
To
credit
live off
cards.
of.
They're getting credit cards
They're
in New
getting debit
York.
cards.
And this is the thing,
$10,000 debit
as
cards.
sick and irritating as all of that is, I take that off the table as a starting point. Because first off, I don't know that any of that's happening, and I don't know anyone that's actually benefited from that. But I do know lots of people who have come here illegally, that are here illegally,
Yep.
and are trying to live their life the best they can, but they don't know what to do because they can't go to Mexico because they're not from Mexico.
Yeah.
They've been here their entire life.
They don't know.
Maybe they were
yeah.
2 or 3, and these are people that I personally know, and their situation is untenable because they don't know what to do. They haven't been able to have a regular job since they've been an adult age because they're illegal.
Yep.
But they don't have a way to become legal because the amount of people we allow to become legal from Mexico every year is so small.
Yep.
What do? I'm 18. One of these people in this family that I'm speaking of is dead because he got deported. He went down to Mexico to their old family home and he got murdered, ultimately murdered.
Oh, it's terrible.
That's an unfortunate thing.
You get
He had a
murdered
choice
there
to
too,
make.
though, Jack.
Well, this is the thing. He could have snuck back like his other family members did and stayed here and he'd be alive, but would he be any better
But
off?
can he
Probably
work?
not.
Can he do
No, he
anything?
cannot.
No.
This is what I'm saying. It's an untenable situation.
Mm-hmm.
There is no across the board fix it. But the
No.
place to start is put up an actual fucking border.
And stop the illegals.
So then
Yep.
all the Democrats can shut the fuck up about how that doesn't work. Because
Yep.
whether it does or it doesn't, we don't know because you won't do it. Just
Yep.
do it. And then
And
you
see
get
what happens.
It takes it off the table. Now we can have a real argument about what we need to do.
And it
Yeah.
depends what you mean by work. Does it work? I mean, it's definitely going to cut back the traffic. What
Of
will,
course it
will it solve the problem? No.
No, because they're complicit in the problem.
Right.
If you think for a
exactly.
second that
Exactly.
the drug problem coming over the border is just because the cartels are so good at it,
No,
No.
bullshit.
exactly. Open the door. Come on in.
We're complicit.
Yeah.
Our government
Absolutely.
agencies are complicit. And I'll say that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
you're right. Jack, you're right.
And it's upsetting, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And like it or not.
I just want to mention a correction that I have.
Good.
It was Admiral Rachel Levine,
Yep.
4-star Admiral of the Navy. It wasn't the Army and it wasn't General Miley. I stand corrected on that.
Who's
Just-
fucking her? Honestly, like, is anybody
No?
having sex
Have you
with that
seen
thing?
that man?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, what is the point at that
You
point
shaved
in
your beard,
life?
bro. You're not attractive.
How old was this person when they made the switch?
I don't
Like,
know.
I want to become
Oh,
unfuckable in my
60s.
60s.
Because
What
he's
are you
60.
doing?
He's 60 now. He did that because he became the public health whatever
So
thing.
stupid. It's just so stupid.
It's gonna make me look better, which is why I'm gonna get voted in.
Ugh. That one I
Plus,
blame.
it's not a pretty. That's not a pretty man. I'm so
it's
sorry.
It's Caitlyn Jenner's fault. It
Yeah,
really is.
It is. She
Oh.
started the whole thing.
Nobody
Sure.
wants to have sex with you anymore, bro. It's cool. Just
Yep.
be.
Dude, have you met your
whatever.
wife? She just still fucked you. You're good.
But obviously that's not what he wanted. I want to be a girl. Okay, why? Why?
But going back to what you said earlier, the whole thing with Caitlyn Jenner was the whole reality TV,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
I guess.
That's what
We
it
Took
watched
says.
advantage
that.
of that.
Oh,
We watched
absolutely.
You
that.
watched the whole transition.
Yeah, I
you watched everything.
I don't know
on
what the
TV.
motivation was, but it's interesting. It's
I think
really
there's a little mental.
A little?
there's something wrong.
Yeah,
with it.
there's something going on. I mean, with Caitlyn.
What if you were just born ugly,
I mean, you can be ugly. There's ugly men that get married every day.
and there's ugly men that spend their whole life alone?
There's
So
that too.
Well, there's ugly
There's
women that
also
spend
ugly
their life
women.
alone.
Right, but what level do you have to reach where it becomes such a problem that you're willing to go to such extremes to become a desired person?
And what's
This-
crazy is he was a Olympian. He
Yeah,
was
he
and
was
he's still-
popular.
He still
Yeah.
decided to
Yeah.
make this change, and I can't.
He
I
was
can't
on a
understand
Wheaties
it.
box cover.
I
Right.
can't understand.
Yeah,
I think
he
what
was. He was popular.
Joe Rogan says, if you live with crazy bitches long enough, they'll
You
turn you
become
insane.
one.
Right.
So his whole take on it was hilarious because he's like, I got to walk out a real close eye on Kanye, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, you live with these crazy bitches long enough, they turn you into freaking
Yep.
women.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to any of this stuff. It's interesting to have discussions about it. It's also terrifying to know that it exists. It's scary to know that we have family members that are being affected by it deeply.
That are watching this and living by
But
this, and
it's scary
thinking
that we don't have any
and
answers. That's the
thinking
problem.
that this is real life. This is what people do. This is how people live. No, this is not how people live. This is not real people.
It's how some people live.
I'm thinking
This
about
is
wearing a
scary.
dress and maybe I could sell more books.
You
It
might
makes-
be able to.
Well, look, it makes
Mm.
me feel pretty, and I understand that part of it.
Mhm.
But I don't carry it around with me everywhere because it's not important.
Right.
You know, honest to God, like if you want to dress up pretty when you're home alone, that's
Go
fine.
for it, bro.
But there's a thing where you're trying to suck everybody else into your fantasy or into your weirdness or whatever. This
And then
is
you
what's
have
funny.
real
Is like
life.
the internet opened it up so that like if you had a fetish or whatever bizarreness about you, that you could meet other.
You weren't the
weirdos.
only one.
Yeah, you were able to bring those
Okay.
people in it. And
Right.
that was kind of a neat connecting
You wanted
thing.
to wear a diaper while you're in your house. Cool, bro.
The fact that it turned into sort of a predatory practice on all
Mhm.
those fronts.
And now everybody has to accept you wearing your diaper
No, we don't.
when I go grocery shopping.
Exactly. No, we don't.
That's
you're
the
like,
part. No, we don't. We don't have to
"What
accept you.
are you talking about?
Meet each other in the little chat rooms in the forums. You do your
Yeah,
thing.
chitty
We'll leave you
chat.
alone as long as you're just doing
Do
puppy
your
play and
Zoom
stuff.
meetings,
You know-
whatever, bro.
Not trying to bang
And-
kids. We'll leave you alone.
Well,
And I think we've always said that, right? We've always said, look, if you want to be gay, if you want to be whatever,
Go
you want
for
to be a
it.
cat, do
go
whatever
ahead,
you
do
want
what
to
you
do.
want. Just don't
Just-
throw it in my face.
Right. Just
That's-
don't push it on us and think that society has to bend for you.
And think that
We don't have to change rules for
children
you. We don't have to change laws for you.
need to be taught this.
don't have to make exceptions.
Keep it to yourself and those that you involve yourself
Or
with. Do we know how many people, great leaders we've had in this country that were like that were cross dressers
oh yeah,
or you know,
But again,
switching genders and stuff?
like
I mean,
Jack said, they did it in their own little weird corner of their
Yes.
house, or they did it in their own little club. How many secret clubs for all these rich people are there that who
Exactly.
knows what the hell
Look at
they
the
do?
one in
Exactly.
California.
Nor
we
do I
talked
wanna
about.
know.
Yeah.
Well, I've said it
Go
for a long
do
time.
it. Be by
level,
yourself.
certain level of power and wealth, you're going to start having sex with kids because once it becomes too easy,
yeah.
that's where they go. That's my
Look at
opinion.
Epstein's Island.
Sadly, yes.
I think that has a lot to do with it. If you're not getting any, you're never going to be, even unless you're that way from day one. If you're just kind of a normal person, it's never an option. It's never something you would even explore because you're still trying
Yeah.
to just bang normal people. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the drive. So when you get to the point where everything's easy and any chick it's like it turns you into a sicko.
Yeah.
You know, but
Nothing's
again,
happening to those people though.
no, but that's the thing because the accessibility, the internet should have made it so that you guys can go play in your room and you can go play in your room. But
Nobody's
what
actually being
all
touched.
these trans weirdo people have done,
Right.
and they've dragged everybody else into their little playground and said, "Well, you have to accept us." And I agree with Dave Chappelle on this fact that the rate that people of color should be so pissed off. The statement he makes in one, I love that he says, "Anybody ever question why it was easier for Caitlyn Jenner to change her gender than it was for Muhammad Ali to change his fucking name?"
True. That's a great
That's
point.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And he goes, and I can't help but think it has something to do with him being a white man.
Yep.
I don't know that it did or it didn't, but there's definitely something there that
That's
like, why in the
that's interesting.
fucking hell is it okay that we have to be forced that thing is pretty and,
And
a
that's
woman,
a woman.
the woman of the year? What the f- is going on? That's not okay.
Right,
it's not okay.
right.
And especially when you go a couple years back and look
Yeah,
at what Muhammad Ali
yeah,
went
but
And
wait.
through
not even that
just to
far.
change his name.
And
Yeah,
not-
but
not
no,
even
that's
that
not
far
true,
away.
Jack. It's not true. Jack, he had no problem changing his name. The problem
Was
was
there any backlash to it?
the problem. Yes, because
That's the
of what he
deal.
represented. The Muslim faith at that time did not project a positive image to most of the people that lived in the New York area.
I would agree with that.
So that's what happened. It had nothing to do with his legal right or him wanting to change his name. It's what came with it.
What did
that
they
was
do?
the problem.
What did they do to him?
That was very unfair. Very
They
unfair.
stripped his
No,
championship.
no, that was because he refused to go into the service.
Also, because he was Muslim.
No, it was because he refused to go into the service.
He refused to go on the service because he refused to be part of
Yes,
war.
that's true.
I understood that to
That's
be
true.
part of his faith.
That's true. Well, it was, but they used the reason being that he refused to serve.
There was a pushback to it,
Yeah.
and I wasn't there for it.
But why is there a pushback to it?
I'm
When
not
you can
justifying it.
change
I'm
your
just
name.
explaining it.
No,
No,
I
but-
appreciate that because I
yeah.
wasn't there for it. I didn't witness it.
Why
It was
is
just
there
it was a
pushback
statement that was
to it
made that
when
made
you
sense to
have
me.
A man who wants to change his name, sure, whatever, bro. Call yourself
And he
Princess
did.
Sophia.
He did.
But you have a dude who wants to be a woman,
Mhm.
and we're cool with that.
Yeah, because he was a celebrity and he was white.
Right. So
Exactly.
one of them, I think, had probably an easier time.
Oh
with
yeah,
that
absolutely.
transition.
I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to explain what transpired with Ali. I want to
Right.
be fair about it. He could change his name. He had no problem changing his name. He even explained why he believed in the Muslim faith. He wanted to become part of the Muslim faith. And that wasn't the kicker. The kicker was the leader of the Muslim faith at the time was an extremist who hated whites, was
Yes.
advocating for violence. So of course there was pushback.
Yeah.
But also he said to the draft board, "Screw you!
Yeah.
I'm not serving. What? I have nothing against these people in Vietnam. Why would I want to go kill them?"
Yeah.
Right.
All
I don't
logical
disagree.
questions.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All logical. But that's why he got stripped of his. But he showed them anyway.
He was
came
ahead of the
back.
curve.
He came back. He came back and whipped ass. So he did all right.
Can we get like 10 of him now?
Well, these are all things that like they're interesting, but again, I don't ultimately have a dog in the fight, except that it's affecting the world that we all live in.
Oh, absolutely.
So again, we get back to the same thing of like, what's the solution when people we care about are getting sucked into this insanity? When
And
people
how
that we
do you
care about are
help
coming
them?
to us and saying, I want to be a different thing than I am. How do you have a conversation with your child and go, yeah, but you're not. Like
Right.
And I still love you, but you're still not.
that's hard shit to do.
Yeah.
I mean, these are
And
a lot
especially
of
with everything online and everything at your
These are
fingertips.
really
So now they're going to
impossible
go
things
in
to
their
deal
room, and not only are they going to go in their room like we did when we were kids and be like, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. No, they're going to get on social media and they're going to have the people telling you, oh, you're okay, you're going to be fine. And then you have the people telling you, oh, just kill yourself.
See, and I think that
That's
freedom
why
of speech-
suicides are up so
So
high.
you have that back and forth
But right-
from people
so-
that you've never met, you will never meet.
Right.
So Riley made a great point. I wish I would have put that video up. She said, it's sad with how we become because we've taken God out of the equation,
Mhm.
like we talk about.
Mhm.
And she said we should be telling these young people that you're beautiful in the way God created you.
No matter
and
what
not
you
giving
are.
that
Yeah.
response. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To go the other way to say,
Right.
I need to look like a woman because
I need to be beautiful because
Well,
I'm an ugly man.
It's known fact. We're all made in the image of God. Whatever that means, it's still we're under God's love and care. So whether we're ugly or we're beautiful or we're in between, we're still all
Yeah.
under God's image.
that's I agree with the sentiment, but I can also see the other side of that one where like, yeah, but I'm actually ugly.
Yeah. No, I do.
You know what I mean?
But
Like,
ugly,
sure.
none of
ugly
us
in-
are.
Ugly in whose
No, I agree
No,
with you.
In
let's be
whose
real. Let's be
version?
fucking real.
there are some
There's some people that are just hard to look
Yeah.
at,
there are
course,
and they
right.
don't
But
have a
also-
shot. They don't have a shot.
That's
against
good.
who though? Because there
Against
are ugly
anything.
there are ugly people out there that are going to think that other ugly person is beautiful, just like there's beautiful people who are going
are
to think
there?
beautiful. There
Are there?
really are.
You're telling me that there's not a person on this planet that is just revolting to everybody.
Both
Possibly.
I can
sides,
assure
no.
you.
I'm sure there
Yeah,
is
there
the
is,
other
but-
side that's
yeah,
the
but
same.
so let me ask you this: Do you think social media had an effect on that? Because back in the day,
100%.
back in the day,
To some degree, it should have had a bigger effect on it, meaning that it should have allowed them to meet each other.
right?
In what
But it-
aspect
but it
though?
didn't.
Because
It-
are
it-
they looking? They're just looking at social media and Instagram and I'm not that pretty. I'm not that pretty.
No.
Instead of looking for like
Right.
other ugly motherfuckers out there.
Social
like,
media made it so if you don't look like Taylor Swift, you don't look like whoever Miley
Yeah,
Cyrus,
it
whoever
created,
it
it
is,
created that the illness. in
Yeah.
people.
you're not as good.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution to it is. I
because
just
in
know
high
that
school we had
it's scary.
the like 5 hot people, and that's all we knew because we didn't have social media.
Well, and
you
the weird
only
kid-
knew what you saw.
weird kid was universal. Like we all knew the kid who just didn't know how to dress like a human.
I was the
being.
weird kid.
Why do you have tape on the middle of your glasses?
what-
They're broke. Okay, jackass, get new.
What
I mean?
about
That
the
was the thing.
yearbooks? When the prettiest girl, the most popular guy.
We did it to ourselves.
So what we did it to ourselves because we isolated the majority
Yep. We
and
put everybody
catered
in baskets.
to the minority,
We
which
put
is what we're
everybody
doing right now.
Yeah, but I go back to when I was a kid. Okay, I wasn't the most popular kid in school. I wore a patch on my eye with bifocal glasses.
Pirate.
I was not.
I know how to be like pirate. rah.
There weren't women looking at me back in the day. You know
That
what I mean?
wasn't your problem. Your problem was you played in the school band.
That was-
That made it worse. That was the
Well,
icing on the
shots
cake.
fired.
The marching band was
Shots
probably
fired.
probably my
Wow,
Hold the
that
fuck.
poor marching band
but
picture. I'm like,
that's the
you
point
poor
though. It's
thing.
like Jack. So my question is I learned how to be stronger because of that. I learned that I changed who I was
Yeah.
because of that. I didn't let it tear me down. There was a time where it did bother me really bad because I was made fun of constantly in school and I had to deal with that every day. But it made me stronger as a person.
Well, here's the thing: did it, or were you just that way? I don't know. This is something I always struggle with: is the whole nature nurture. This is again
Yeah.
where the whole trans shit comes from is a societal thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is or not because I don't know. I'm not a person who believes that you because of things that happened to you, you became a strong. I think you are already a strong person. That's who you are. I think you are who you are. And I say this in when you see a family that there's 5, 10 kids, raised by the same parents, generally the same environment, other than where they were born in line, right? And some of them can turn out to be great people. Some of them can turn out to be total pieces of shit. So is it nature or nurture? How much of parents don't get all the blame and they don't get all the credit.
No,
Some people are just dicks.
you're just born that way.
And some people are exceptional,
But-
and not necessarily because of their parents or any environmental thing. They just are. And I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
Right.
It's a roll of the dice. Like
Yeah.
I'm always been good at shit that I do. I'm never the best at anything, but there's very few things that I've attempted to
don't
do
suck
that I'm
at.
not at least proficient
You're
to some
capable.
degree.
You're
I'm
capable.
capable. I was in the marching band. I was in orchestra. I was in the Phoenix Boys Choir.
Yeah.
I did a lot of, it wasn't until well after high school that I realized, oh shit, I was popular. I didn't know that
You didn't realize
because
it,
I
yeah.
wore a jean jacket and had my hair long and I tried to be outcasty or whatever because that's who I wanted to be. I didn't think of myself as popular until I realized in life how many people knew who I was
Right.
and remembered me all the way back to elementary school and had stories about me. I'm like, I don't even know your fucking name.
Right.
That was weird, but it made me realize, like, oh shit, was I an asshole? I think I was, but I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
So who you are is
Well-
maybe shaped by society, and sometimes maybe it's just who you
Who
are.
you are, just
Yeah.
period.
So
Well,
I think it's combination.
I think you can ruin
That
people.
nature nurture
get
thing's
young.
always been forever. Always been. Nobody knows.
Nobody
it's one or
knows.
the other. We
Right.
kind of go back. Is coffee good for you? Is coffee bad for you? Nobody knows. It is what it is.
If you lock
But
a kid in a room from day one and keep them there for years, you can definitely break them.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. I think that we also cater to those strengths and weaknesses.
We're starting to cater more
So,
to the
we're
weaknesses.
Which we
catering
are.
to those
and
weaknesses.
the minority.
So not only because how many times when we were a kid did we have ridiculous thoughts or conversations with friends or whatever didn't mean anything,
I'm not
but
seeing any
now
chats.
we're babysitting that. Now we're feeding into that. So it's not only this nature nurture, it's this one thought that we had once and oh, I think I used to dress up as a cat when I was 5 years old because we had cats in the house and I'd
Yeah.
tie a towel around me and look, I got a tail. Like doesn't mean I'm going to be a cat.
I knew there was something wrong with
I
it.
know, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to be a cat. But if parents nowadays saw that, now they're going to feed into it.
Right.
Now, of course, I'm going to go for it because why not? It's fun. Look at what we've become.
Let me light it on fire one more time because
Oh,
my,
my-
my first fire didn't work. So, assuming that nature nurture argument, whatever. So one argument that you might make is that one of the problems is we are not only allowing those voices to be heard, but we're pushing to keep the weak alive,
Mhm.
the weaker people in the society, the ones that normally would have just died.
Yeah.
And then, so like, if you're a person who has a constitution or whatever personality that can't handle the day-to-day stresses of people and you kill yourself, maybe that's okay. Which why are we trying to save
That's
everybody?
a little heavy.
It's
Yeah, that's
it's
a little
incredibly heavy.
That's a
It's
little
incredibly heavy. But there's a point. There's an
always
argument to be
those
made.
people that just don't make it.
Why are these things more prevalent than they used to be?
Right.
Is it because we're propagating weakness?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And how do
And
you
we're
stop
feeding
that?
into those little baby thoughts.
Can't answer that.
That's exactly it. They're not tenable things.
Right.
There's no good solution to that because you say that, you know what, if they're not weak, if they're not strong enough to survive,
They're not going to make it.
then we let them die. How sick do you have to be to be
Have
like,
you watched the
my
deer
kid, I'm going to let it die?
Have
No,
you watched the deer be eaten by the?
that's a deer. We can't do
everything?
anything about that. But
Why
when
not?
it's my
Is
baby,
it any different?
my
We're
baby's
still
underdeveloped.
worse.
It can't survive out of the womb. We need to put it in an incubator and keep it alive for 6 months. And then it's going to be weak the rest of its life.
Yep.
Do we kill it? Of course not, because you're a monster if you do. But at the same time, there's a
How
consequence to
much
that.
resources are we putting into that?
And is there an amount of resources that's too much when it's your child? Of course not.
Well, I
When
kind of
it's your
resemble that
child,
because
no.
I was in an incubator for.
Just for 30 days.
This is what I'm saying. Lighting it on
Right.
fire when you get right down to these conversations and
Right.
the realities of them, they're hard to deal with, if not impossible.
Yeah.
There aren't necessarily solutions to these
Nope.
things. They're just where we're at with this society. Some of these sick bastards who exist, I don't think there's a solution to it.
Right.
It's got to run its course. If society falls because of it, then it does. I don't think it's going to, but we're in the best time to be alive ever.
Yeah.
What's the next step? I don't know. I'm hoping that we all turn into robots, but I don't know that's going to happen.
Jack's truly, really hoping that we all turn. into
I don't know if
robots.
that's good, but
Dude, did you hear? Well, you heard about the Neuralink guy.
Yeah.
The report on him being able to play the video games and stuff.
Yep.
That's
oh my
wicked
God.
Yeah.
I could. Well, we'll see what happens.
Are we gonna do an episode on Neuralink?
Oh my God.
Not yet.
I'm not
We
going to be
need
here
some
for
more.
that.
He just played a couple of video games. That's it.
Okay.
We need a little bit more information to come out before, but I would love to because
Okay.
it's an amazing technology, and I think it
Now,
matters.
is he? So he's dead?
No, he's not dead.
Okay.
He's
so how
alive.
did he?
He's just he can't use his body.
Oh,
Full
okay. Full
paralysis.
paralysis. Okay.
But he has
So
a,
they
he has
linked
a,
him-
he has a life now.
They linked him in.
Yeah, he's got a he's
Sort
got
of like
another
what's his name, the brilliant guy.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen
Yeah,
Hawking.
thank
Yeah.
If Neuralink existed when Stephen Hawking was still alive and they hooked him up
Oh,
to it,
he'd be great because
He'd be
he's
great.
brilliant.
yeah, he'd be building robot
He'd be
armies and
scary.
murdering people.
Yeah, he would be like, "You
I don't know
fuckers are dumb."
I don't know what he'd be doing, but it's interesting to me that they're making advancements. They need more people to do human trials on,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like this guy
Yeah.
was one of the first human
But
trials.
again, what does he have to lose?
Exactly. So you need people at that point. 'cause
And
you-
I'm sure there
fully
are out
healthy.
there. I
That are
mean,
willing to.
Oh, I'm sure there will be,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and every step they make towards it, and
It's going to be a
it's-
little more safer
It's
and a
not
little more.
perfect, and the
No.
guy,
Right.
you know,
Of course
even
not.
says that it's not perfect. There's issues, but compared to where I was at, and where I'm at
It's a
now,
lot better.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievably better. So you know, it's a matter of its perspective.
It's
and
just
where you're in
research.
life.
It's the same as any medication, any drug, anything. We just got to try it.
So back on the train, if I'm a person who's confused about why nobody wants to have sex with me, and then I find a community of people who say, "Hey, if you grow a beard and put on a dress, you can play on our team." Okay, now I belong.
Right.
Yeah.
I get where it
It's
comes
all
from.
just about
But that's a
feeling
part of
that
it that
belonging.
it's a mental thing that
Mhm.
I don't know how you fix it.
And like you
100% a
said,
mental thing.
we focus on weaknesses today more so than strengths. And I'll give you a perfect example. And I hate to be one to compliment the liberals, but I'm about to do that. So
Mm.
Buddy, do it.
bear with me. I notice, and I'm sure you've all noticed in the last year or so, the commercials on TV are much more diversified with the people on them. I mean, you see more Asians, you see more Black people, you see more heavy set people. You see a different variety of people. You see people that you see every day.
Yeah.
Before it used to be models,
It used to be the models.
perfect
Yep.
models.
Yep.
So I think that's a good message.
Yes. No, absolutely. We need to have.
So
If
I
you're
mean,
gonna, if
you
you're
don't
gonna
think that's a
sell
good
me,
message?
No.
Really?
if you're gonna sell
No,
me,
I don't
Why?
Because I think capitalism is a great thing, and I think freedom of speech is a good thing. I think there are downsides to both those things.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to accept the downsides, meaning that if you're unattractive, hard to look at, I don't want to see you in a commercial for bathing suits. I don't. I don't think we should, and I don't think we should propagate that as an okay thing.
I didn't say bathing.
Well, you said-
I said commercial.
commercials,
Commercials in
are
general.
going to show
But
bathing
depending, yeah.
suits.
I don't want to see what fat people are doing.
Why?
I don't care because I'm not interested in that. I want to be lied to. Sell me something, make me want the product, and use things that I aspire to or I'm interested in.
So you're
Make it
gullible.
attractive. 100%.
Yeah, you must be really
Oh.
gullible.
I'm extremely gullible. I don't want to see it. Like if you do a burger commercial, I can see Ralphie May chowing down or a hot chick. Which
I don't
one's
need
going
to
to get my
see a
attention?
big
Right.
fat dude chowing down on 8 burgers.
Well,
My point is that I get where it comes from, but I also think that propagates the whole idea that we're making those behaviors and the weirdos
Okay.
and outliers.
There's no
more
weird.
okay.
Why? If you're a heavy set, you're weird.
If you're heavy set and you have a
Well, if you're black, you're weird.
no,
Or if you're an Asian, you're weird.
I don't have a problem with
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
I
No,
know.
but you can
No,
have
but
Asian
it also
models and black
plays-
you said
models.
the
It's
heavy
not a
person.
skin thing. It's
I don't care about the skin thing.
The
Well,
skin
you
doesn't
must
matter.
if you're saying it bothers you.
No.
When you
No.
say
Well, you're
heavy
just
people,
saying heavyweight.
just
A
heavy.
model is a model.
So let's take the heavy
of it,
set
I'm
people.
So you're accepting that obesity is okay.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying they're getting an opportunity to work and do something.
They have an opportunity to work.
I can
There's
get-
fatty magazines
I
too.
can assign to that. I can sign on with that. But my point is there unfortunately is a part of society that's saying that the fat people are healthy and that it's
And
okay.
that's
to-
I'm not
okay.
saying
and
that.
that's the part I
But
think.
that's what we're promoting.
That's what they're
No,
doing.
no, they're not.
If you're on a commercial,
They're
you're
saying-
promoting.
They're saying
this
that
is
I fit
okay.
into the society just like you do.
yeah, but they know
No,
that,
if
they
I'm-
know they're going to
If
eat.
you're selling me a bathing suit,
I didn't say anything about a bathing suit.
a
That-
commercial, what is your
that's-
commercial selling that you're
You don't have
speaking
to
of?
advertise food to them.
life insurance.
Life insurance. Okay.
They're
So
not
the
going to
fatty
qualify
that's
for that.
300 pounds is
Yeah.
going to sell me life insurance.
Maybe.
No, they can't because they actually don't qualify for life insurance.
Exactly.
I wasn't saying 300 pounds.
I didn't mean to
either.
run you over with the bus.
You know what I was saying.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I was saying people that never get the opportunity are
You
now
triggered-
getting
you
the
triggered me.
opportunity to be in commercials.
That I
There's-
agree.
And I think
Okay,
that's
so that
a
I agree.
positive.
That I
Whether
agree.
they're 300 pounds or 900 pounds, I don't know.
You triggered me with the overweight thing. I'm sorry.
Apparently I did.
But why? There's a reason why you weren't getting that opportunity because either A, you weren't skilled at it,
No, it's not
Yeah,
true.
about
No.
the
That's
reason
not,
why
that's
you
not
weren't
true.
because
That's
you
not
weren't
true.
you weren't skilled
No,
at it,
no,
or B,
no,
you
you
didn't
the shit
let
out of
me
the shit.
finish.
You can pay now. You can pay. You're wrong, though.
I'm not wrong though. Let me finish. You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I do know what you're
What am
saying.
I gonna say?
You said already that they're not ready, they're not polished, they're not
I said they're not
experienced.
skilled enough to do the job.
And that's why I said you're wrong.
Okay,
Did
so
you-
I can go be an engineer.
No, I didn't say
Then
that.
how is that different?
I'm
It's
telling
still
you,
a job
there are people out there that are in the actors, in the Screen Actors Guild. They're in these other unions that never got an opportunity.
because they
to
weren't
get
good
the-
enough to do the job.
No,
There are other people better
because
at the job.
they were.
Do you,
they
do
were
you
the
really
wrong color.
think? Hold on. Do you really think that some of these models that are on these commercials are qualified to advertise what they're advertising?
No, but you're a model. That's your fucking job.
Your job is to sell a product.
Your job is a model.
You had to say that.
And whatever
You had
your
to say that.
product is whatever your product is.
I see what Dad's saying. I agree the fact that more people are having opportunities now, but
And I see what Jack's saying.
At the same
There-
time-
there is certain images that you want to project
Exactly.
when you're selling a product.
So why
That's
are we giving
okay.
these guys opportunity?
Because
Fire starter. You're welcome.
What?
damn it, Jack.
Fire starter.
okay, let's move on to the next thing.
We're out of time.
All right, we're out of time.
We're out of time.
Thank God, we're out of time.
He's like, thank God.
Don't drive angry.
Oh, hold on.
Right?
We'll kick your
Why?
ass, man.
What are you doing?
Just gonna go eat dinner.
What the hell? Where the
I have no idea.
That's
what-
just-
I have
seemed
no idea.
inappropriate.
She's just like, I'm out of here.
There's a dog in the house. Where's the dogs and the cats?
The cat was here before.
I know.
Trying to get your attention.
The dog usually comes in when we run over and yells at me.
Right.
No, Seymour was here trying to get your attention before.
Oh, that was the cat though. The cat doesn't make any noise. The dog comes in.
Well,
and
it's not
growls at
9
me.
o'clock, so she
Okay.
doesn't, she's not going to come in and yell at you.
She
Yeah,
waits
we're
an hour and
not-
goes, hey.
Is it 9 o'clock?
No, I said
No.
it's not 9 o'clock.
Last time
yet.
it was like
It's
2
Oh.
hours, and the dog came in and was like, hey, I'm trying to get fed.
yeah,
You shut up and leave.
Are you done yet?
It was funny. She did that both times.
I don't know where she. I don't know where she went.
She's late.
I was purposely.
Here comes the dog.
I was purposely avoiding any confrontations between you and me tonight.
Why?
Who knew heavyweight was going to be the fight?
Hey. Hi, baby. Girls, little puppers. I'm petting the dog, by the way, for anyone. who
Yes,
doesn't
you
know.
are.
It's a puppy.
For those who can't see.
For those who can't see, what's going on
What are
over
you?
there?
What are you doing, Jack?
He's petting Midget. I don't know.
Oh man,
Where'd she go?
I have no idea where she went. I have
Did she
no
order
idea.
Uber Eats and we didn't know about it?
Maybe.
Well, I guess I don't know. Was there a chat going on? I'm not seeing anything. Nobody's commenting.
No, everybody's gone.
Everyone's exhausted. They
They're
left.
gone?
We're done.
They're gone? Really?
We have more people on Rumble.
We do.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
happy birthday.
Oh, there we go.
Happy birthday to
To you. Happy birthday to you.
Dare you and you.
You ready
Everybody,
you ready for your birthday song?
See, now you could be in a commercial.
Are you ready for your birthday song?
Oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Okay.
Second verse.
I'll buy that.
There's no-
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I didn't have any candles.
That's okay.
I'll light one on fire.
There you go. You
All right,
already,
that's-
you already,
You already did that.
you already lit the shit.
Are we
on fire
done?
now.
We're good.
We are done.
There's nobody on.
Nobody on here. They're on Rumble.
Nobody's on.
We're
Everybody's
making
on,
the switch.
everybody's
It's
on
happening.
Rumble. Everybody's on Rumble.
It's
Oh,
happening.
What
okay.
switch? What switch are we making?
We're over to Rumble where the really cool kids
Oh, well,
are
we're
at.
probably going to get kicked off YouTube for
I don't
this.
give a shit. It's where the cool kids are at anyway.
I lost my
Bam!
mouse. Where's my mouse?
There
There it is. All right, I got my mouse back.
Bye.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
guys, for being on.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you.
Be in touch.
Take care.